Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Terry Hardin, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer here, coming to you live. And you'll notice the title has changed. Yes, Terry TV. The little thumbnail isn't as balanced as we like, but we did it when we were half asleep. So we will be working on that title card, making it a little classier. But right now, I just wanted to shift from a live comfy chat, like a fireside chat, comfy chat, to Terry TV Live. And reason, forgive me, I drank my tea fast. The reason that I wanted to do this, guys, is because you're getting out and about as quietly COVID is simmering down. Please, Lord, let it be so. Today, California lifted their mask mandate. You no longer have to wear masks indoors unless you are in an airport, at a hospital, or a convalescent hospital, etc., etc. So a lot of people are excited not having to wear masks indoors. They still ask us to do it cautiously and carefully because the Omicron virus is still out there and can still be a problem. But right now we have the lowest numbers we've ever had, and hopefully that sustains itself through spring break. But I am known as Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer. And those of you who are in Southern California, where I live, the Disney Anna Fan Club is having their first live event in May. I'm telling you about this because your schedules are going to get busy like mine on the 14th and 15th. And on the 14th, I'm honored at a special dinner to celebrate the fact that I am a Disney legend. So it's called the Legends Dinner, and they are bringing me. And they're also going to have Miss Kim Irvine. And Kim Irvine has been with Disney for a long time. And her mother, I believe it was her mother, right, who played Madame Leota? And I think it's her mom. Yeah, it's her mom, because I think she said she took her kids and said, look, Grandma. But her mother was the model for the Madame Leota. And so she's going to talk about that. Pretty exciting. The thing that makes me excited about the dear and amazing, fabulous Kim Irvine is that when I started, my people started collecting me at the gallery when the gallery was over Pirates of the Caribbean and Disneyland. You remember that? Kim was the guest that I shared with then. My very first appearance, there was Kim doing an appearance as well. So there's a nostalgia with Kim Irvine for me beyond her wonderful mom. And so it's going to be a great night of celebrating legends. And I hope you can join us. Just go to Google Disney Anna Fan Club. They have a Facebook page here. I probably should have a link to it. I will do that. But that's the 14th and 15th. And on the 14th, they're going to have some special shows that you can be, panels that you can be a part of. Then the dinner that night. And then the next day, it has a fabulous show and sale. And if you've never been to the Disney Anna Fan Club show and sale, it's fans for fans. You find great stuff. The stuff is remarkable. The people are fantastic. I highly recommend it. It's going to be at the Doubletree by Hilton down in, I believe it's near Anaheim. So it's like that Garden Grove Anaheim thing. So, but Google Disney Anna Fan Club, and you'll get all the information on their Facebook page or on their website. I think they have a website. Anyway, there you go. There's the announcement for that. All right. Also, as you know, I do have a Patreon page. Some of you might be saying, "Oh, don't we all?" I don't know. I have one called Terry's Tribe, and Terry's Tribe gathers. I do a broadcast just before this one, live every Monday and every Friday. And then we also have a Zoom call where we all get together and chat. And the last Zoom call I had taken a vacation last week, you may remember, to celebrate my husband's birthday. It was fabulous. So thank you. But we really talked a lot on the Zoom because there were a lot of things that people wanted to discuss. And so it lasted, gosh, I think it was 11 to 2. So like 3 hours. And it was interesting. So for $5 a month, $60 a year, this is from someone who over delivers. Go to patreon.com, Terry Hardin. We'd love you to add your voice to it. We have all different creatives in that community, and those who wish to be creatives, but they're creatives in many ways. A woman who gives us cleaning tips because she's a maestro when cleaning, and she loves it. So she shares that with us. We've got a guy who who really knows about Disney and the collection. So if you have Disney stuff, you can ask him and he will do his best to help you with that. He's really, really good. That's our boy, Nate. Then we also have people that are trying new stuff, creating new things, asking the tribe to help them, what they think about the pieces they're doing. It's with love, kindness, support. Bob Burdine and his wife Rose help you to give back tons and tons of cool stuff. So it's not just artists with artists. You don't have to be a drawer, painter, or whatever. You just have to be passionate about what you love. And if Disneyland is that, I encourage you to come here. Okay? Join me, join Terri's tribe. Your voice needs to be heard. Okay? So let's talk about the thumbnail that I did today. Alan Ladd, who I love, 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 love. And those younger folks, do you know who Alan Ladd Jr. is? He's better known as George Lucas's angel, because George Lucas schlepped his Star Wars scripts. There were 12 books. I used to have the treatments for each of the 12 books. I sold them at a huge auction with the rest of my collection back in 2007. I no longer have them, but they were quite wonderful. Disney has not followed them at all. Why should they? Why would they? But anyway, George Lucas had 12 treatments and he took them with him to pitch them to the various studios. And the studios slammed the door in his face. Slam, slam, slam. The first place he went to was Universal Studios. I believe they're the ones who created American Graffiti. And he said they'd done movies with me before, give them right the first refusal, slam. Then he went 20th Century Fox, slam. And person after person, studio after studio, what are you talking about? Slam. Get away, George. Slam. You're crazy, George. Slam. No way, George. Slam. 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 Slam, slam. So what did George Lucas do? And this is why he's one of my favorite people and one of my mentors, is George never gave up. You can imagine that when Universal told him no, it broke his heart, because he had come to love the studio as the studio had loved his work. And yet slam, 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 slam. It became this kind of rap, right? With this door. And he just kept going. He just kept going. He just kept going. About number 12. Just about the amount, as many books as he had. 12, I think, is a magic number for George Lucas, because I think it was $12 million that he made Star Wars for. I could be a little off, but if my memory serves, forgive me, I'm 65. In the Ask Me Anything, if you have questions, feel free to post them in the comments. Ask me anything you want to. If I don't want to answer it, I'll tell you. The one thing about me, and if you find this fun and you want to subscribe, please do. It'll help me grow a little bit. But if you don't, I'm not going to be hurt. I'm not going to come after you. I'm not going to dish you. We're very open here. We're very kind here for the most part. And no haters allowed, right? But the point is that George kept going with his little, book under his arm, and there he went. And what George decided after 2 or 3 studios was that the first book in his Star Wars saga was not going to be the book that would really sell the movie. And if you talk to many authors who are writers, they will tell you their first book a lot of times may not be the book that publishes first. It may be like in the middle of the series, because it kind of rounds out what the ideas are, and then they can come back to it in the prequels, which is what, of course, George Lucas did. And then you can follow after if you wish. But basically, he chose episode 4, A New Hope, as we all know. And that was the one he had decided after a little while that could be the one that should happen. And so finally, number 12, as I remember, was Alan Ladd Jr. And as he sat across the table with Alan Ladd, he explained a Wookiee, he explained Jawas, and he explained Sand People, and Darth Vader, and R2-D2, and Princess Leia. And you can imagine trying to explain your saga to someone who at that point in the 70s, it was nothing but love stories. Okay. Science fiction was all but not existence. We had Space 1999, 2001, which is better than Sleep Now and any kind of sleep aid you need. It's a beautiful movie, but you go right to sleep. The music is soothing and wonderful, beautiful images, and out you go. Beautiful movie. Okay. So not dissing 2001. It just does put you to sleep, especially when you're a kid. But we had Star Trek, the original, amazing. Space 1999, Lost in Space, little things like that. Okay, My Favorite Martian, kind of, but nothing that we as science fiction people were really wanting to dig our teeth into. We really wanted a movie that was sci-fi, and love stories were the flavor. And I don't know about you, but I was sick of them. Oh gosh, the way we were. And I used to ice skate, and it was memories. So you hear that about 100 times. You're like, oh, please. So we were really praying, and I think George Lucas was too, to have to create something that he remembered from his childhood that inspired him. And I think I wasn't in the room with these two people. I was a kid, an artist trying to find my way into my career. Okay. I was building costumes for people. I was creating puppets. I was building all kinds of things on my own time. But right then it was more of a hobby. I'd sell one or two of them, you know. But when I saw Star Wars, I was 18, I think, 19, somewhere in the middle. I was in college and I cut class to go see it. But I think what happened is that I can imagine that George sat with the amazing Alan Ladd Jr., who passed away and actually went up and collected his real wings just in these past few days. He left us. And I thought I would celebrate him because he was the one that gave George the green light to produce what we know, which has changed culture today, made it possible for you to see Marvel, made it possible for you to see DC, made it possible for Game of Thrones, made it possible. All was Star Wars. You get that, right? Without Star Wars, this could have still happened, but not like it happened. Star Wars changed dress, changed fashion, changed TV commercials, changed television, changed movies, changed everything. Isn't that amazing? Can you imagine being one of those other 11 studios and going, crap? Yeah, yeah, yeah. The best way to show people that you're right is success, okay? And also, if everyone's telling you crazy, you're onto something. So don't quit, right? And George Lucas, that's what he did. He kept going, he kept going, he kept going. And Alan Ladd said, let's do it. But I imagine George Lucas shared the dogfights that he had watched as a kid, watching his serials and movies, and said, I want to create something that people can really dive into. I don't want the ships to, I want to really make you feel them. And we all love him for it, don't you? Don't forget what a wonderful thing. People have said he wasn't the best director, but when you only have $12 million, you've got to work with what you got, and he did. And he begged Harrison Ford to do Han Solo, and Harrison Ford really was doing character parts. And the nice thing about being a character actor, I am one, is that you can still move about, and people are like, "Ooh, you're that guy," but they don't necessarily have your name. But as you know, Harrison Ford became a household word. And he could no longer do his carpentry, which he loved, and things that he loved, because he was just too famous. And that's what happens. That is the price of fame. Sometimes there are sacrifices. Many famous people just want to act or do stuff. There are famous people who want to be famous. Okay. We get that. But a lot of famous actors, they really just like to do the work and would rather not have the fame, but it's hand in glove. So you got to kind of work with it if you're a big actor. But that's why the character actor really does well, because people are like, you are, your name doesn't necessarily come front of mind, which is cool. And that's been my situation. I'm doing Ghostbusters, Men in Black, things like that, because I'm a puppeteer and you don't see my face, or in cases when you do see my face, Outrageous Pumpkins. Not everybody knows or watches those shows. So some people will recognize you and go, wow, but most don't. So unless I tell you what I've done, you may not know what I've done. So this is what's so great about it, is that middle of the road if you're a character actor. And so unfortunately for Harrison Ford, that was sacrificed. But it really helped George Lucas out. He was looking for people to help him. Mark Hamill was a big fan of science fiction, and honestly, People have said Mark Hamill was not the best actor, but I believe what George needed in the case of Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill brought tenfold. No one does that clueless farm boy fighter kid better than Mark Hamill. And I think he did a great job. And I think one of the scenes I love in the original Star Wars is when he meets Ben Kenobi, and he has this kind of vacant, not quite understanding what you're saying, as Ben Kenobi tells him who he really is and explains to him about what this whole thing is that's happening. And he has this vacant kind of fiery, can this really be true? Yet, what the heck are you talking about? Yet, all in his face. And he does a great job. So maybe I'm reading more into it, but it's amazing. So Alan Ladd is the man that did the green light. If he had not done that, it would have been harder for George Lucas to get Star Wars made. But I believe the passion in George was so strong that he wouldn't have quit, but it could have been an entirely different movie. And once it was made, it changed all of our lives. If you were fortunate enough to see it in the theater in 1977, you saw nothing like it ever. Okay. You were impressed with the titles crawling. Okay. But after that, when that cruiser comes over and we see the tip and it just keeps going, we couldn't breathe. Okay. So many people in the theater could not breathe because it was like nothing we had ever seen. And then the chessboard sequence was the chair stretching moment for Terry, because I had done all kinds of sculptures. And when I saw that, I said, wait a minute. This is something I can do. And so my feet were put upon the path to get into the film industry, and the rest is history. If you Google me, it just keeps going. But that started with a man named George Lucas, and I got to do a show called Captain EO with Michael Jackson and George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola, where I got to sit on the steps of the Captain EO set with George Lucas and tell him just how much he meant to me, how much I loved him. In 1977 into 1978, I saw the Star Wars film in the theater because there were no VHS tapes. There were no DVDs. You got that, guys? None of that. Only the theater. Okay? 183 times. 183 times I watched this movie. I took notes. I drew pictures. I could tell you that story, but it's going to take a long time. I'm doing a book. But if you want to know segments of it, stood in line for 3 days to see Empire Strikes Back to get the first ticket, and I did it. So I really, really wanted to celebrate this movie. And there is a book, George Lucas's, let me see if I can find it. Don't know if it's in here. Doesn't look like it's in here. Let me see if I can find it for you, because you guys may want to try and find this for your collection if you're a big Star Wars fan and you'd like to see if you could find it. Let's see if I have a picture of it here. Don't know if I do. Doesn't look like it. Let me see that one. I really should do a Star Wars presentation because so many people want to know about my crazy Star Wars life. It was wild. It was fun. It was amazing. I'm not seeing it. Well, the book I wanted to show you is Skywalking. It's the story of George Lucas. I'm on page 3, and talks about me seeing it 183 times. When George Lucas read that, he was afraid to meet me because there were a lot of collectors at conventions that were scary, scary, scary people. Darth Vader's love child comes to mind. Yeah, really trippy. And so, so as a result, George Lucas was like, I don't know if I want to meet this crazy chick because it could be something I would rather not do. But Star Wars to the core, and we were talking about it on the Zoom call. If you look at this and you go, who would ever do that? Who's crazy enough to stand in line for 3 days to see Star Wars? If you are a sports person and you paint your face a color, I'm thinking the same thing about you. Okay. It's all relative. If you like sports and you go, oh, I'll paint it up. Your tailgate parties, your gatherings to cheer a team as they annihilate each other, to me, don't get it. But understand it because I am an avid Star Wars person. I love Star Wars, adore Star Wars, and don't really like what Disney's doing to it. Just throwing that in there. But hopefully, you got things that save you, like The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian was a real good save. Favreau, I believe Favreau was probably very possibly in the theater at some point, at least during Empire Strikes Back, because he's younger than me. But I would imagine he was probably by my side at one point or another. So my point is that it's all relative. If you love Disney, don't diss the Disney folks who love Disney. Just think of what you love to collect, be it shot glasses, be it whatever. Everybody kind of digs something, right? And just know that I'm just looking to see. I keep getting A Galaxy All Their Own, which is a book by the LA Times that talks about fandom in the time and shows me while I stood in line for 3 days at Empire Strikes Back to get in. So you can bet I wanted to get the first ticket, and someone told me they were going to fight me for it. And I said, no, you're not. And I got that first ticket. It was a big deal. I was covered coast to coast in every newspaper and radio station because I was there for so long. It was not easy. Here it is. Yay. Thank you, God. I'm going to put it in my favorites. Here is the book I wanted to show you. This is Skywalking, The Life and Films of George Lucas by Dave Pollock. I am on page 3, and I'm also in the index. So you feel accomplished when that happens. And there it is. So just for your own entertainment, joy, value, whatever. Oh, let's pull up the Patreon thing, because you guys got that, right? Okay, good. We can go back to the Instagram. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just excited. So there you go. So that was the first part, is Alan Ladd, someone I am so grateful that he saw what George Lucas had, and the rest is an amazing history. And yeah, fabulous. When I built my Wookiee character, the first character I built was a Wookiee. I really wanted to build C-3PO for myself, but I couldn't figure out how to make C-3PO. It was a bit young. But so I wanted to be a Jawa, but I'm too tall, so I decided to be the Wookiee, and I made lifts for my feet and made the outfit. But what I did was go to Little Tokyo here in Southern California, and ordered Japanese star logs, which had broken down all the detail. They'd absolutely dissected the Star Wars film, because in Japan at that time, and I would imagine still, there was no copyright laws. So they could actually take that film and dissect it. And that's when I found out that Chewbacca was 2 colors. Everyone was doing in 1 color because they were looking at the film. Of course they were. So that was cool. And let's see if I have that somewhere. I'm trying to see if we have that somewhere. Do I have anything that says Star Wars? I probably don't. I need to have a one that says Star Wars. I will have to look into that, but let's see if I have yes, here's my Wookiee at my college. Isn't he cute? So he was 2 colors. My lifts are actually on the bottom. So I made the lifts, put my feet right at the distance between the black fur and the little fur. I sculpted the toes out of mattress foam, stole another cushion from my parents. They were getting rather irritated about that. And I made this Wookiee character, made everything on it, leather, everything, and just figure it out. You just figure it out. Don't you, cosplayers? Figure it out. You don't know how to do it, you figure it out. So that's what I did. He's 7 feet tall, and he got a lot done. He got a lot of mileage. And then, of course, there's my Yoda from Empire Strikes Back. I called myself the Other Hope, and then I sculpted a Yoda out of mattress foam, again stealing cushions from my family, and made this Yoda, and made my lightsaber that's on my hip, made my leather belt, and my friend Gene Turnbow made my blaster. So it was just great. And this was joyful. This was just a lot of fun. So thank you, Alan Ladd Jr. I'm glad that you get to be up in heaven, really flying around now. And you did good, my friend. You did really good. You did so many things, but Star Wars was the thing that's changed my life. And I want to thank you for giving George Lucas the green light and for making it such a joy to behold. To this day, I absolutely still love it. On another note, the Starcruiser experience in Florida is getting a little pushback, aren't they? People who paid the $5,000 to be in this experience submersive hotel say that it's kind of crummy. They get into the rooms and the rooms are like this big and they don't have room to maneuver, let alone change their mind. And they're not happy about the money that they're paying. I guess it's not 5,000. I don't know what it is. You guys can tell me a little more about it. But I just got my whole feed yesterday blew up with people just furious about what they felt was a waste of time. Well, here's the thing. When I read about this, I don't know how many people go to Walt Disney World to stay at their hotel. I mean, your hotel is cool. And you may, if you have kids, go and swim in the pool, or if you're in Animal Kingdom, you get to watch the animals roam around, which was always my favorite place to stay. But the hotel is not where you necessarily say, I'm gonna stay here. I'm not gonna see Walt Disney World. I'm not gonna go to Epcot. I'm not gonna go to Animal Kingdom. I'm just gonna stay here. So to me, I didn't think for the price tag, and I guess it's over $5,000 or something, $5,000-6,000 to stay here. And I don't know if that's for a package or a night. I don't know. It sounds nuts. Please explain to me if you know more. But it's all submersive, so you stay in there. That is the whole idea, is to never leave that place. So I don't know if that's kind of anybody. I know I wouldn't want to do it, and I love Star Wars. Don't get me wrong. I just wouldn't want to do it. No. Okay, especially for the price they're toting, you know. I mean, maybe it could be cool if you have real lightsaber fights or something. Maybe you guys get to fight with lightsabers or something. I don't know what is in there, but all I had yesterday come across my feed was not worth it, waste of time, really don't like it, not some, no, all the way across. So I thought I would bring that up in case you're considering doing it. Look at it. They're also having trouble getting people to work it, cast members to work it, because there is zero external sunshine. When I say it's all inclusive, you are in a container, you see no natural light. And so it's one thing you go for a week or a few days to experience it, and then out in the light you go. But can you imagine being a cast member who works that all the day? You're not going to feel great about doing that over and over and over again. You're all of a sudden going to feel like you're trapped. And so many of them are like, no, thank you. No, I can't. No. Okay. So Disney is going to have to revisit that, I'm thinking, and figure out how they can make that work a little bit more. It's going to have to do something that appeals to the person more. And I think what they could do as an Imagineer, and this is just off the top of my head, is if they want it to be like it's a spaceship in space, maybe what they could do is have a outdoor growing module on the spaceship. I mean, it's not Star Wars, but face it, people who like Star Wars like space and rocket ships and all that kind of stuff. So Disney, you can create the future Star Wars, right? And you could have an area like, did you guys see Silent Running? Such a great movie about the last forests of Earth being tended to by a wonderful scientist guy, and his whole job is to be with these robots and take care of these forests, right? And there was a dome that let the light in from space. So rather than you letting the light in from space, maybe you could pretend it's artificial sunlight, but it's actually the sun from because we are on Earth, right? So that way people could go to those areas, maybe a garden, maybe a pool or something, but you're getting the actual sunlight. So that was something I thought, because a lot of people said they really weren't enjoying the fact that they weren't getting natural sunlight, and the cast members were like, yeah, no. So that's very interesting. Yeah. It's very, very, very interesting. So made you think, right? Made you think. So let's go over to your questions and talk. Those are the two things I wanted to chat about today, and we'll see what you have to say, right? But the number 12 for George Lucas was very magical, I think. Number 12 was the amount of books he had pre-written the treatments to, $12 million, I believe. And then number 12 was another significant thing, which I'll think about in a minute. But yeah. Good morning, Michael Clark. Good morning. The Starcruiser is for people who can't stand to be on the sea, which I think is a great idea. Have you been, Michael? Have you been? Because I'm curious to hear from someone who really went and liked it. Yeah. Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you. I'm very honored. And I hope you guys can join me if you wish. And hello. Yes. Hello. Hello, Evelyn. Thank you for joining me. Hello, Jeanette. Are you enjoying the sunshine today? Did you have a look at the Lars Land and Travis Lake? Yes, I started to. And then I had a surprise visit from some friends of mine from London. First time they have been in California since before the pandemic. And we just got to talking and the day disappeared and we went to dinner and I took them to see the Hollywood sign. And oh my goodness, we had a great time. London in the house. Yeah. Yeah. So I will take a look at Lars Land because I've heard that this is something to see. Yeah, I saw a few things I didn't understand, but that wasn't Lars Land. Hey, happy Friday from the Puppet Troop, the Crumpet Puppet Troop. Yes, hello. Darren, there you are. Glad you popped over here. I have been curious as to what the storyboard look at print hanging behind you. Oh, yes, this. Well, behind that, okay, I got to tell you this story. My husband hung this because I have a dear friend who painted me as a villain, because a lot of times when I'm playing roles, I played a villain. And it was really fun. I played a couple of nasty people in a couple of independent films. And I'm a character actress, so I have a plethora of things that I've done as an actor. But mostly puppeteering, which I love because it keeps me secret. But anyway, it's fun. Anyway, to answer your question, we hung this storyboard because this is a storyboard that I did, a little film called Hostel that I made. I made a silent film just for fun, wanted to see what it was like. And this is the storyboard for that. We hung that over because underneath is a painting of me as Medea. And Medea, as you remember, killed her children. So it's me, polishing a knife, looking evil. So Lindsay said, that's not a real good thing for your brand. So we did this instead because we do filming, we do all kinds of cool stuff. I do all kinds of cool stuff, as you know, go live all the time. So this fits better, but great question. Thank you. Thank you for asking that. Evelyn says it's a place to sleep. Yes, but that's the way people think of their hotel, is a place to gather, clean up, change your clothes, and then go out again. I mean, most of the Disney people that I've had the pleasure of staying with don't stay in their hotel the whole time watching TV. They bounce back and forth. It's a place to change. It's a place to do your laundry if you're with the DVC, Disney Vacation Club, or whatever. But it's not a place to live for a week or two or days. And that can be a little strange. So if it's a place you're going just to sleep, that's very expensive. At $5,000 bottom price? It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. Even me, who loves Star Wars, I think I could handle a day, but I don't know that would really, I don't think I'd stay there the whole day. I might run around and see it, but for that kind of money, you kind of feel obligated to stay there for a day, don't you? So those of you who think this would be cool, or if you've been there and you thought it was cool, please share, because I am asking you, I'm seriously asking you, what do you think? Because yesterday, everybody was saying, what a waste of money, time. What are they thinking? We hate it. Don't want to be there. Cast members don't want to be there. So, and I know that the negatives bubble up to the top faster than the positives, which is why I'm saying to you, tell me what you love about it. If you've gotten to do that experience and you've coughed up those Benjamins to do this, then let me know. I want to know. And take a shower. There you go. People were so angry at the size of the rooms. They were really ticked that the rooms are just embarrassing, like they're like a closet or something. I don't know. I've not been there. So I'm just looking at what people said. But that's why I wanted to talk about it today, because it made me very, very curious. Leo says newlyweds. Now, newlyweds usually that's the perfect thing for them, right? Except that if you're a person who got married and Walt Disney World was your honeymoon, how many of you would think you would stay in that Star Wars cruiser and not come out ever? Because most of you guys are all about the Disney experience. I mean, you love wearing the mouse ears that say bride and groom and having people congratulate you, going to City Hall and getting that newlywed couple pin that you can get at City Hall. So again, I don't think that will work. But again, you tell me, right? I looked at it and said it's not anything I would do. But and I love Star Wars, but I just thought, you know, my speed is to go on that Smuggler's Run and do that a couple times a day, and I just love it. I love walking through those reproduced halls that feel like being on the Millennium Falcon. I just love it. And sitting at the chessboard. That was my whole mission, was to sit at the chessboard. And at the time I went, the people were trying to get me to move along, and I was like, "Look, you can skip me. I'm getting my picture at the chessboard." That's what I wanted. The chessboard and Phil Tippett and all of those amazing people. John Dykstra. Okay, that's what I was going to tell you. Is once it was greenlit, George Lucas connected with the amazing John Dykstra, who I had the pleasure of working with for about 3 years. An amazing mind. But he's the one who created the Dykstra Flex camera that created all of those all of those moves was Dykstra. And wow, 8 brilliant people built the camera and changed the way we watch movies. Isn't that cool? Yeah, won an Academy Award for it because he's a brilliant man. He's a lovely man, lovely, brilliant person. And actually, when I was working for him, I was doing a puppet thing for a commercial, and he would sit on the edge of my table with me and my mentor, Pat Breimer, and just be fascinated at what we were creating. And that's the cool thing about people who are creative. We can be fascinated by the work that each other does. And to have John Dykstra sit there for hours as we built and ask us questions about the puppets we created, when I just looked at him and said, "Tell me about the camera. When did you get the idea? When did it work? Did you all celebrate? Did you pop cork and have champagne? Was it quiet?" And you're like, that could work. What did it feel like to show it to George, knowing that this was help building a dream that he had? It feels good to help someone's dream move forward and be all that much better, which is why I believe that Disney Imagineering watchword is collaboration. People of high marks, the best artists all over the world coming to Imagineering and celebrating and sharing their ideas and creating something magical like Disneyland, Disney World, Disney Paris, Disney Tokyo, etc., 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 etc. So yeah. So he says, "Hey Terry, I forgot it was Friday. Whoa. Yeah, I know. Came up quick, didn't it? Heard about how Star Cruisers is pretty much a bust. $6,000 for some really basic stuff that's not really special, overpriced." This is what I've been getting all day yesterday, whether I wanted it or not. Okay, you guys have those feeds. I'm always wanting to have a Disney thing so I can talk to you about it, talk about some of the things, things that pop up on the radar. And this is what I was getting all day. "Hi, Tim Gillette. How are you, my friend? I have been entertaining all week, which is why I didn't get to see you on Wednesday. And Monday and Tuesday, I was sick. And I don't know what it was. It wasn't COVID." Yay. But whatever it was, lack of sleep was probably a good part of it. I keep saying lack of sleep was probably the major problem, but I was not good. I was not good. And I'm better now. Yes, you can tell I'm better now. If you watch the Monday broadcast, you can see I'm not 100%. So it's interesting. Silent Running is a great film. The robots that were a bit of an influence on R2-D2, terrific Douglas Trumbull effects, and a great performance by Bruce Dern. It's a wonderful movie if you haven't seen it. They also used double amputees for a lot of the robots, and it's just beautiful. And the soundtrack, I mean, come on, Joe, the soundtrack is amazing. In fact, I still think I have the vinyl and the record is green. Yeah, I have the record somewhere. I just couldn't part with it. I love silent running. So, yeah, so that's kind of something I thought might be cool. Yeah. Hello, Jerry Cornell. You've heard, right? That I'm going to be I'm getting Disney Legends Award or Disney Legends dinner on the 14th, Jerry. So I hope you can come with the Disney Anna Fan Club. I know you'll be at the show and sale, but I hope you come to the dinner. It's cool. Hi, Angie. It's been far too long. Yes, it has. I had a vacation last weekend. As you know, I did not broadcast. And for those of you who feel like you must post everything, you must show everything, you're a YouTube sensation, blah, 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 please take time for yourself so that you don't burn out. It's not that I was going to burn out. It's just that I have family and I don't want my family to ever feel like they don't come first. So, and they meaning my dog and my husband. So my husband had a birthday, and forgive me, I was talking about a project that I'm working on, and I'll share this with you another time, guys. Oops, okay, don't fall. I shared it with the tribe and talked to them because Lego was one of the things that I was super excited about doing. My Titanic's almost done, and I'm trying to look at the next big thing. So, but I have the Rolly Crump chess set to keep going on. If any of you are woodworkers out there, reach out to me because I'm kind of looking for a woodworker who does really detailed, pretty stuff. Okay. Give me a shout. All right. Okay. Yes, it's been far too long. But anyway, on my husband's birthday, we had a great time. We went up to Carlsbad and we had an amazing time. Yeah, just an amazing time. When you said you played Medea, I thought you meant Medea, Tyler Perry's character. No. No, and I didn't actually play her. It's just that my friend Philo, he's the one who designed The Little Mermaid, and he thought it would be fun to paint me as this villain. So I love it, but it was going to be, you know how some artists, you say, could you do me a painting that's like 16 by 20 inches? And he did that, which is like 4 feet by 3 feet. So my husband said, that's not going in the house. He's like, nah, I don't want to think of you like that. So, but that's cute. That's cute, Joe. Douglas Trumbull died a week or so ago. It was his first fit. Yeah, I know what you mean, Leo. And but there was power behind it, wasn't it? Yeah. When when a person recognizes that this could be, and I really don't think he was prepared for how big. I don't think George was prepared for it. I don't think the people who were in the cast were prepared for how much Star Wars was going to change the way we look at everything. And I'm so, so grateful. Every time I see a good, average, cheesy film, I'm thanking Star Wars. Yeah. Yeah. I think the hotel looked blah at first, but the more I watch the videos, I think it might be fun, and I'm not a Star Wars fan. However, I wouldn't pay the price. So this might be the thing, Angie. Maybe more people would find it fun if they could find a way to make it more cost effective. But the problem with making it cost effective, what does that do to the experience? So I think that's hopefully what they'll weigh, okay? Because if they can't fill it and pay for it, what good is it, right? If you're someone who can afford it and you want to go try it, now's the time because it doesn't look like it's booking well. So if you want to invest and go see what it's like on your own and see what it's like at first, this could be a time to see it if you're willing to invest that kind of money in that experience. I'll tell you, if it looked like something I wanted to do, Angie, I might save up, but right now, so sad I'll never be able to experience due to price. Well, that's why the videos are so cool. You can kind of vicariously do it through them, and maybe they'll show you all the good parts, not the yucky parts. Not their room the size of a walnut. A lot of them are just so angry about their quarters, which they spend a lot of time in. And Save your money up for that hotel that's supposed to be in space. What about that? To me, that looks cool with the big window opposite your room of Earth. Yeah. Just save that. That's going to be what? The price of a house? Oh, dear. Also, we just lost Alan Ladd Jr. He was 84. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. He's the man responsible for greenlighting Star Wars. Yes, that's what I said. And continuing to support George during production. Yes, 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 and yes. Ding, ding, ding. You win. Well done, Joe. First film as director, loved Huey, Dewey, and Louie as a kid as well. Indeed. Well, yeah, right? Yeah. It's environ me. it's environ me. Okay, there you go. Yes, clever. Environmental message. There you go. There you go. You guys are giving me all of these these what are they called when you shorten them up and I look at you like, what are you saying? Joseph says, I watched a lot of YouTube videos about the Galactic Starcruiser. I'm a little more intrigued about it, but definitely still don't feel it's worth the price. I'd love to try it, but cannot afford it. And that's the thing. Okay, let me just put it in perspective for you. You've heard two people here, Joseph and Angie. Sorry, Angie. Had a brain vapor lock. This seemed to be happening more often as I approach 65. But anyway, I digress. Joseph and Angie both saying they'd like to do it, but the price isn't effective. Okay. That is the problem. Therein lies the problem. Okay. There are people who cannot or could not afford the Club 33 experience, but made the decision that that's what they wanted to be involved with Disney with. If I'm going to do anything with my cash, I'm going to save up and become a Club 33 member because that's what I want. I want to do that. And the experience is lovely. And there's a huge waiting list. The price is way more than what the Starcruiser is charging, but they will pay it because to them, this is what they want. So I have a friend, she said I could buy the popcorn buckets, I could buy the little tchotchke pin, I could buy this tchotchke thing, that tchotchke thing, I could buy pins, I could buy plush, I could buy whatever, or I could save up my money and become a Club 33 member, and that's what she did. So she wanted that. But I don't know anyone who looks at this and says, I really want to do this, so I'm going to save up. That's what you got to do if you're going to charge these big prices. You've got to make it so cool that people are like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to not drink so much Starbucks. I'm going to create a penny jar or a $1 jar or a $10 jar, or I'm going to put my change in there. I'm going to go to this thing because it sounds super cool. I'm going to do it. I'm going to move heaven and earth. But that energy, that passion to go there is not there, as you've seen from two people. I'd go, but it's too expensive. Door closes. So as a person who is creating a new experience, you got to think about that. You've got to make it so compelling that the person doesn't think about the price. They say, I got to get there. What do I got to do to get there? And you've seen two people say it's not worth it to them. No. And they are just two voices here today of many. Google it and you're don't Google it because it'll blow up your phone of all the people that are angry about this attraction. Raymond Kincaid as yes, best woodworker out there. Well, send me his digits, buddy. I'm interested about maybe doing a collaboration with Raymond. Okay, got to be reliable though. Can't be a flaky artist. I'm a taskmaster when it comes to my work. Okay. And we all are, aren't we? We're not going to do something shoddy. We're going to do it 110% because that's what we do, right? I have a couple of friends that are on the Starcruiser right now, sent me a few videos. One says best thing they've ever been on, and they do cruises all the time. Okay, but is it the Starcruiser experience, Janet? And so they're loving it because cruising also. Okay, let's talk about the Disney cruises. Okay, they're not in a bubble, are they? You get to go out and sun yourself. You get to get off the island of the ship. The Disney cruise ships are amazing. Okay, they're amazing, but you get air. Okay, And a lot of them are saying that's the problem with this thing. We don't get air. It's all piped in. We're in a tank. Look. So talk to me, Janet. I'm curious to hear. Our friend George posted some pictures on his website. I'm going to have to take a look. George has been a busy boy. Do me a favor, Bob, and let him know about the Rolly Crump chess set, would you? I've been meaning to reach out to him and let him know. Please let him know that it's happening. And if he wants to ask me more, he can reach out to me. I'd really appreciate that, Bob Burdine. The food at the hotel didn't look good either. See? You see what I mean? When you put a price tag that people are like, meh, they're going to check everything and go, why should I go? What is it about it? Or they're going to be people where $5,000 is like $5, you know, but those people are the pickiest. Okay. So you got to have a good experience or you're going to have nothing but trouble. The only people who can afford the Starcruiser are George Lucas, Kathleen Kennedy, Frank Marshall, Steven Spielberg, Bob Iger, and Elon Musk. Now, Elon won't go, okay, because Elon is one of these guys that just builds his own, doesn't he? I mean, he made NASA cool again, didn't he? You know, I was so sad when the space program passed away and didn't seem like we were going to get much NASA stuff, but beautiful space station shots and pictures of Earth from space, which I'm always grateful for. But I love when to live vicariously from the astronauts. And then all of a sudden Elon gets in there, you know, says, hey, let's collaborate. He makes really cool space suits, an awesome ship called the Dragon. You know, Elon did that for me. He said, Terry Hardin's going to want me to name it the Dragon, so I'm going to name it the Dragon. I absolutely love it. I have every patch of the Dragon's excursions from the very first trial crew to crew 1, crew 2. My heart just, I love it. I absolutely love the Dragon. It is so awesome. It is so cool. And it's amazing. Thank you, Elon, for doing what you're doing. And he keeps doing it. He loves space. And I got to say, people say he's kind of a nut, but I like that nut. That nut is bringing space back to me, and I'm going to thank him for it. So, yeah, so I don't know that he'd waste himself, but he might go in there and say, I know how this can be improved. That's what I think about him. The rest of them, I don't know if they would even go, you know, and many of them would want to go for free, right? Wouldn't you like to go for free? If it was free, you'd go. I'd check it out for free. Yeah. Angie says, I'll save my money for a trip to Paris with a legendary Imagineer. Ba-bam! Now, why do you think she said that? Do you think she's giving me lip service? No, she's not. She's heard about this trip that I did to Paris where I took 3-4 lucky people and they see Paris through my eyes. Paris is one of my favorite cities. So many people said, you know, Paris is just another city. Shame on you. It's not. That Paris is a waste of time. Shame on you. It's not. You need to really understand that one of the things that makes a place so magical is the people. And you're going to go, but the French are so mean. The French are not mean. They have been conditioned by Americans and foreign people who don't treat them very well. So when you're going to travel, study the country or the state even that you're going to travel. Learn about it. Learn what is not done. Learn what is done. Okay. Learn that you don't walk your dog next to a pond because alligators could be in it in Florida. Okay. That's a tip you need to know. Okay. If you are a runner and you love to do the Disney races in Florida, do not go and relieve yourself in the bushes. There are snakes like the black mamba, very poisonous. Use the porta potties. They're right there on the trail. They're there for a reason. Don't get all pompous as a runner and think you're going to run across the brush and go there and not be affected. You could, because Florida has some critters that want to gobble you up or poison you. Just be aware. Florida is not out to get you, so to speak. But if you don't know what you don't know, it can be very, very dangerous. So that, for example, when we went to Paris, I learned that I studied for my group because I was going to be with a group. I hired someone from Paris to be my guide because that's the way you do things. In my opinion, you know, I'm doing this VIP type tour, which Angie has heard about. This VIP type tour, we tailor it to you, we being me and my associate. out of Paris. We tailor it to you. We go and see Disneyland for a day or two, and then we take you to Paris to see what I want to see. I don't take you to Notre Dame. I don't take you to the Monets. I don't take you to Versailles, because you guys can see those on your own. Those are tourist attractions, and you know where they are. I will take you to the Eiffel Tower, because you can't go to Paris with not doing something cool with the Eiffel Tower. But we can do a river cruise. We can do whatever you want. The last group were foodies, and Paris has the best food. And they have these amazing markets that I just love. So I took the foodies to these amazing markets and places where you can get the best meats or the best cheeses or the best caramel ever, if caramel is your thing. A chocolate place that looks like a jewelry store. I always have to take you there because people just, their face falls off when they see my favorite candy store. I don't eat a lot of chocolate, but I do know a good presentation when I see it, being an Imagineer. So I took people to do this. They really loved it. They had a great time. They paid a lot of money for it, but we had a lovely, lovely time, and we tailor it to you. So one of our guests had a saint. I think I've mentioned this before. She was the descendant of a saint that was in a particular Paris church. And my guy did the research, and we took her to meet her great, 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 great saint, whatever. And she actually felt a little uncomfortable because we had worked so hard to make this happen for her. But when she got to do it, she lit up and was so, so happy. Also, understand with the French, I'll give you a little tip here if you want to go to Paris, because a lot of you want to go to see my Paris dragon. So learn some French. Learn bonjour, bonsoir, merci, enchanté, which means pleased to meet you. And words like that, say them the best you can. You can say bonjour, merci, mercy. You know, the French don't care. Okay. But once you crucify their language, they'll feel comfortable enough to speak to you in English. And then you can relax and speak together in your language if you wish. Okay. By trying their language, they see that you're not great at French. So because they get embarrassed. They don't want to, they want to save their face by speaking well, because they pride themselves on speaking well. But if you speak terribly, they're French, they'll just relax. They're so special, so wonderful, and they'll talk to you in English, which I tried to work with. I worked to order in French. I wanted to speak French. In fact, when I was in a store by myself, they actually thought I was French. That's a real coup for you. If you work on the language a little bit. And I didn't work super hard. I grabbed a few phrases I thought I would need 2 weeks before I went. And just to be respectful of the place I was going into. I also studied about some of the things that are a little bit that you got to watch out for. So there's a place that a lot of people like to go that is the risque part of Paris, called the Moulin Rouge. But at the time, they told us it wouldn't be good to go there at night, that the gypsy population had, or the pickpockets, they don't mean actual gypsies, but they mean people who roam like gypsies. Do you follow that? Weren't just picking your pocket, they were jumping you. They were attacking you. And so they felt like if you're very touristy, don't go at night, go in the afternoon. Be careful. Don't drink a lot. Don't, make sure you have a bag that can't be cut, and learn the things. It's got a lot of pickpockets there. And so men, keep your wallet in your front pocket. There's a really great company that has a front wallet with a thing that clips to your belt loop or to another part of clothing, that if they try to take it, it really works great, actually. And then a little travel bag that you can't cut. It's got wire mesh inside. It locks, and you can crossbody wear it. You can't cut the strap or anything. You can keep it in the front so you can protect your things like your passport, etc. And then one of the things that if you're American, you may fall prey to is you'll see a lot of people with their wares around the Eiffel Tower for sale. Little gold Eiffel Towers, little French kind of nicky-nacky things. And what they'll do is they'll go, American, and they'll do a fist bump, okay? Don't fist bump, okay? Because if you fist bump, it's a way to get you that close, clip something on you, and demand money for it. and you can go, no, I don't want it. And they go, look, you took it, money. And they can get really belligerent, really loud. So don't fist bump, even though it looks cool. Also, your heart may go out to a woman with a baby who's begging for money, and you may decide to walk up, take out your wallet, and be kind. Know that there can be people watching you, where you put your wallet, how you protect your wallet, what you're doing, and they will steal from you. They'll follow you and steal from you later. If you're on a crowded bus, make sure that you are wrapped around your stuff, because they'll keep bumping you while one person is trying to reach and grab. A friend of mine got her cell phone stolen that way. So just be, what I'm saying is, be aware, okay? Don't go and be oblivious. Be aware. And here's the thing. My husband didn't get pickpocketed until he was at Disneyland. So don't think Paris Disneyland is off limits. I kind of felt it was a safe space. It's not. He was taking extensive pictures of the Dragon's Lair for me because he had never seen it and he wanted to get it covered very well. So he was taking photographs and videos and all kinds of stuff like that. It's a very dark area because the feature is my 35-foot dragon. And he felt someone reach into his back pocket. Now, I don't recommend this, but my husband reached back, grabbed the man's wrist, spun around and said, "You need something?" And the guy was like, and he goes, "You need to go, don't you?" And the guy ran. He was like freaked. I don't recommend that. Just make sure you got your wallet in the front, turn around and go, "What?" And then, they'll run. They don't want to be caught. They don't want to be seen. But apparently pickpockets, there's so many. And if they're kids, they don't stay in jail long. So what's the recourse? What's to stop them from doing it? So just learn about this story brought to you by TERRI HARDIN is to tell you to just be aware of where you are going. What is it that you must watch out for so you don't get yourself into a fix? Okay. Yeah. We found that traveling the trains at night at the time we were there, this was 2016, might not be the best idea. So, but we didn't do that for my special excursion. We had a coach. Yeah. It was VIP. So we were escorted everywhere. You can pretend you can pretend you're just like, royalty, because that's the way we treat you. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody gets a little sculpture. It was a Remy with a loaf of bread. It was so cute. It was so sweet. And I gave them that to them. That was part of it. And it was only limited to 4 because that's all there was in the car. So it's very, very exclusive, very, very beautiful. A bit of an investment to go with me. And I don't pay for plane tickets, because what I suggest to you is to book around my I usually take you for what did I do? I think I took people for 10 days, and to book a little bit in the front in case you see something you want to do. Or if you want to go to those things like Notre Dame, of course, had burned down or scarred pretty bad, and they were building it at the time. But you might want to go to Versailles, or you might want to go to the Palace of Versailles, or you might want to go and see more of the Eiffel Tower. You might want to go see Notre Dame from a distance, even though it wasn't open. You might want to go to the Monet Museum, which is one of the beautiful museums. You might want to do some of the things that I don't take you on. I point all of those things out, but tell you can do that at the front or the back of your tour. So I'm going to take you to the places that you may or may not go to, because you, quite frankly, don't know they exist. And on my website, I'll be having testimonials from the last trip we did so that they can talk about it. But the pandemic hit. I was getting ready to do that. Things happen. You go home and everything explodes. So I was getting ready to do that during the pandemic and didn't get to interview them. So we just spoke the other day with them all, and we're gonna get their testimonial. And then we're gonna cut it and put it on. Also, I do a retreat for people who want to make a living doing what they love, or just want to spend time with me and do fun, artsy stuff, paint, sculpts, puppets, whatever. We do all kinds of fun stuff like that. And that retreat I did in 2019. It was very, very popular. And then the pandemic hit, so I'm thinking of doing it again, probably in 2022. I'll keep you posted. Right now, I still feel California and the rest of the country is still too volatile with the pandemic. Today is the first day we get to wear no masks indoors. But spring break is coming. How is that going to affect us? Memorial Day. How's that going to affect us? I'm afraid that we haven't really had a long stretch of we're cool. So I'm not ready to do that because I don't know how you feel, but you must be so tired of come here, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, and you're paying patty cake, and you're not, you have a cruise you haven't used, a ticket you haven't that keeps getting postponed. I just don't want to do that to you. I want to feel that it's going to really have a chance, like a 75%, 80% chance of happening before I take your money. Okay. So that's one of the reasons I'm kind of waiting till 2023. And when the excursion happens to Paris, it's a few bills. So I want to make sure you have time to save it in increments like you would a Disney cruise. You go up to this date, you've paid that much. You go to this date, you pay that much. By the time you're here, you pay it in full. You know what I mean? That's what I'd like to set up for you. So that's what that's about. Yep. 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 Thank you, Angie. That is very sweet of you to say. Whoops, sorry, didn't know I missed you talking about. It's okay, Joe. It's okay. You just restated what I stated. See, you just fact checked me. You're fine. You're fine. No apologies necessary. Cruz, I hate autocorrect. I know. Autocorrect is getting you guys today. And I'm trying to decipher it. Janet, I could get yours. Bob's was a little more challenging. Yeah. 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 Leo says Raymond Kin, Kin. Okay. Yeah. Send me here. Oh, wait. Raymond Kin Ma. Leo, you see what I mean? Look at him. And he says, darn it. Spell check is messing with you guys today. Autocorrect is messing with you guys today. I think that autocorrect is sometimes like Siri. Turn here. Haha. Just kidding. Watch out for that stuff, you guys. I think they have little personalities and they're messing with you today. But thank you for that. Just send me a link to his stuff, would you? I'd love to see it. If he's got a website, something that I can see and a way to contact him, that might be great. To me, I might be too claustrophobic to do it. I would rather do a cruise ship, not so enclosed. Exactly, Janet. This was my thinking. Because you're inside the ship, but I remember I've done 3 cruises. Yes, 3. And I loved being outside on deck in the crisp air and just enjoying the nature around me. And I didn't spend a lot of time in my hotel room. I will do one caveat with that, okay? The second Panama Canal cruise we did, and that was in 2007, Disney booked a balcony for me. I asked if they would book me a suite with a balcony so that I could sit in and watch go through the Panama Canal inside the room with wine and cheese and meats and hear about the history of the Panama Canal on the television screen that Disney provided. Because the first time I went, I didn't get to hear any of that. It got really hot. I got really dehydrated because I didn't want to lose my place while looking at the Panama Canal. But the balcony, you can see all of the country going past as you're going through the Panama Canal. And then on the television screen, since I had seen it already live, cuts to the various cameras on the ship. And so you can sit back, have your wine, your cheese, and hear all the history. I stayed in my suite at that point. So maybe that's what the Starcruiser should do. Maybe the Starcruiser should do something like that, where you kind of feel, but I had air still is the problem. I think the tin can feeling is what people are really not liking about it. So maybe they can do something that maybe they can write in their story a way that the Starcruiser has these bubbles like in Silent Running, I said, where you could actually let the sun in that they could escape to and feel, because, like you said, you could be claustrophobic or people just nobody likes an inside room on a cruise ship. Yes, Janet? Nobody wants that inside room that has no windows and no doors. Always pitch black dark. But the reason they buy them is they're less expensive and they're never in them. They just sleep in them and they wake up and get out of them. So they don't mind an inside, but they're not sitting in there all day in the cruise. It's too confining, as Janet says. So that's what I think is kind of what people are feeling with the cruiser. Done. Kenma. Yeah, send me a link, Leo. And that way you can breathe easy. Because that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm going to speak with a woodworker down here because I'd love it to be down in Southern California, but I don't mind going up the coast to meet with one if they're the right fit for me. So I'm eager to that. Okay. Eventually, the whole Disney parks experience will be the same as the Starcruiser. For some, it's already like that. It looks fun, but you can't afford it. Exactly. Needs a second mortgage to finance it. You say that, Joe, and it's so true because I went to Musso and Frank, I told you, with a group of people to celebrate my London friends who didn't even go to Disneyland. They love Disneyland, but they said it's vastly becoming something that they don't recognize. So they're going to where? Say it together, Knott's Berry Farm, and they loved it. They spent 5 days at Knott's Berry Farm. I couldn't imagine it. But apparently, because Imagineers have crossed over and created a different experience, many acts that were let go, performers that were let go from Disneyland are now there under another name doing the same. So Billy Hill and the Hillbillies or somebody else, and they're performing at Knott's. So you can see all of the experience you loved, but for a better price. So one of the ladies sat there and she says, my grandchildren are never going to get to see Disneyland because it's too, their parents can't afford it. That's pretty sad. If Walt were alive, he would not be happy, would he? I'm just saying. This is not what Walt Disney envisioned. And I think we need to try to remember that as we move forward. So you are correct. Bob Burdine says the star. Yes. So Bob Burdine's agreeing with you. It just seems too claustrophobic. You know, I mean, those of you who hate flying for long amounts of time, can you imagine this? It's the same, you know. This is what I was hearing all day yesterday. And I'm visiting with my London friends and my phone would just go and it would be pop, 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 pop. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to talk about this because it was really sad. Side note, did you do something with your hair? Looks great. Thank you. Just had it done. This is called retwisting. With dreadlocks, you get them, you'll see. Wait till the end of the month and my hair will be a little bit fuzzy. Now, a lot of Black people will put a headband on or a turban because they like it to be crisp and clean like this. But, you know, after a month, it gets a little fuzzy. After washing it and working with it, it can get fuzzy. And some people don't like that fuzzy look. You probably already realized, don't care. Because then every beginning of the month, I get the growth retwisted, and that's why it's nice and clean today. So thank you for that. It's also extremely long. I can't even get it on camera. It's because my hairdresser wants to see how long it can grow. I mean, I'm just glad they're dreadlocks, okay? So if someone says, can you grow them long? Because I'd like to work with that. I go, sure. I can cut it later. Sure. There are benefits to it being long, I'm finding out, though. And then there are benefits, not benefits. Everything's bitter and sweet, right? So, yes, the Star Wars Cruiser, and that's what I said, too. Exactly, Janet. That is what you said. Kinman, he did the Country Bear Jamboree and Winnie the Pooh. Attraction signs. Yeah, that might work. That might work. It might be a little, we'll just have to talk. I need it to be delicate. Can't be clunky. Yeah, not that the Winnie the Pooh signs are clunky. He filled a need. So that doesn't mean you look at it and judge he can't do anything else, because I get that, Leo. So yeah, if you can connect us, I would love it. He may or may not want to do it, but if he wants to, I'm willing. I'm looking at woodworkers right now who would like to maybe collaborate with me. Jana says they do cruises and they're comparing it to cruises. Exactly. But it's not, is it? It's not. It doesn't cruise. Be kind of cool to do a cruise that kind of looked like a Starcruiser. I wonder if you could do that. I'll bet you they could. People are so talented. You know, the people who build these ships are so talented. And I mean, they keep getting big. How fun would that be? See, like a Starcruiser or something like it going through the water. Woo. I tell you, already the Disney cruise ship is the jewel on the water. Nothing looks as beautiful as those Disney cruise ships. The aesthetics on them Always gorgeous. And you know you're on the ship, you're on the diamond of the ocean when people on cruise ships take pictures of your cruise ship, okay? And then you just really feel like you are something special being on the Disney ship when it comes into port and all the other ones are going bah, and it's going bah 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 bah, and people just come out from everywhere cheering and screaming as you're pulling into port. It's wild. You want to feel VIP? Ride a Disney cruise. I'm with you, Janet. I could not get over how the animals seem to sit up and take notice when those ships go into port. That Disney cruise, detail is amazing. And I told you my John Hench story about the rescue boats, right? The lifeboats. Yeah. So that's also. Thank you, Bobberdine. I heard the hotel food looks exactly like the buffet food. Oh no, he's kidding. That would be awful. That would be awful, Joe. And Kidman obviously is also an Imagineer. Of course, yes. I've heard the name. I don't think I know the man. I'm more of a face person, but I don't think we met. Have you been on an Adventure by Disney trip? Here's the thing, Angie. No, I have not. I was thinking about investing in one. Aren't they something like $25,000? They're really a big investment too, but I know a lot of people that they'll save their money up for that. That's what I'm talking about. Adventures by Disney creates some real magical things. Usually 25 people. So, and I'm someone who's not going to be able to get you some of the places that Adventures by Disney can get you. So if you want to save up that 25,000, I think it's 25,000, isn't it? 15, 25,000, Angie, that it's worth it because you're going to get behind the scenes of some of the places you love because it's Disney. So they're going to take you behind the scenes in Paris, Disneyland. It kind of focuses mostly on Disney, doesn't it, Angie? There are some that don't, but it gives you the Disney experience and others. I think it's great. I have not been able to not only not afford the price tag, not, it's not, yeah. I'm like, am I interested? Am I that interested? Is it, because when something has a big price tag, you got to ask yourself, how interested are you in it? And I think the thing that stops me is I'm not so sure I am. But people who have taken them have said they have been amazing. I have a friend who does them all the time. She loves them. So, she's one of those people I'm telling you that's like, 25,000 is more like $250, and who wouldn't do it for $250? So it's for a special group that wants to invest in that. And that is exactly what you're doing. You're investing in an ultimate experience. And I think I would love to, but I haven't yet. I might like to go. I'd love to be someone who could speak on one of them, and talk about it, but like the Disney cruise people put me on to speak and they give it to me. They don't pay me, but they give me the cruise. So I love it. I love that. I'm cool with that. Thank you for asking. It's a good question. From what I've seen and heard, it seems that not everyone will get the same experience, so some could miss out on some of the things they'd like during their stay on the Starcruiser. And how do you feel about that, guys? If you're going to pay $5,000-6,000 and you want a certain experience, are they going to make it difficult for you to get that experience? And then you're really angry, right? So, yeah, there's a few things. Now, they're just starting out with this, right? So you guys talking on social media and saying, don't like this, do like this, don't like this, this is kind of cool, whatever, helps them to fine tune it. Like I heard that the Genie Pass got a makeover. Am I right? So is it better? Because a lot of you guys were like rant about that because they were really messing up with that one. That one was not working either. So you guys do, tell, speak, keep doing what you're doing. Social media, go to City Hall and lodge a grievance or a complaint. You don't have to be mean about it. Just say, this isn't working. And if you can offer a solution, you're all that much better. So I'm like, look, there's no air in here. Maybe you could redesign. Just like I said, it's all about story, right? It's all about story. If you want to see someone die from a snake bite, just watch Yellowstone. That's true. A lot of people said we want to move to Montana. And I said, if you watched Yellowstone, because Yellowstone is modern day cowboys and they seem to have their own rules and laws. Both, I mean, they seem to have cowboy law. And I know cowboy law because I spent a lot of times growing up with cowboys. There's cowboy law. And sometimes the body doesn't get found. And Montana is a big state. I'm just saying, you watch Yellowstone, you go, certainly don't want to upset anybody in these areas. No, no, no. So I said, yeah, I won't be moving there. So I guess we are in agreement. Bingo. You're killing me with the descriptions of Paris foods. I'm drooling. Niagara Falls over here. Yes. I'll tell you the chocolates you go mad for. I remember when I took my group in with the chocolates. Oh my gosh, they were so cute. It was a jewelry store. It looks like a jewelry store. It's so impressive. And the woman started to help us. And she just was, because they had made lists. I had told them about this. And so I said, it's elegant, it's beautiful. They're packed like jewelry. Everything about it is wonderful, this particular store. And it's a great thing to get gifts because after all, it is chocolate. So it's not going to be diamonds and stuff. It's chocolate. And they were there for a good couple of hours. And there was this lovely gentleman who wanted to be served, but my team was keeping the staff jumping. And so he waited patiently and he waited patiently. And I leaned over and I said, I'm so sorry. And then I said, would you like to go before us? And he was like, no, I'm fine. And we said, are you sure? He said, yes. So before we left, I bought him a little box of the chocolates and gave them to him as a thank you for waiting so long, because he was there at least 30 minutes waiting on my group. And I gave it to him as a gift. And he was so touched and so flattered and very French. So you want to be your best self as an American. You want to be your best self as anyone from another country. You want to represent it. Okay. So I went with my husband to the Loire Valley in France, where the castles are. Okay. Just remember castle. France is the castle capital of the world. So Loire Valley has some beautiful representations of them. Also, my favorite place, Champagne, France. Anyway, I digress. As we were going to the Loire Valley, we went on a special, and this was just me and my husband. We went on a special. This is a different trip than the one that I guided. This was one that I went to run the first inaugural Paris Disneyland Coast to Coast Castle to Chateau race. And my husband wanted to stay 2 weeks in Paris because he'd never been. So I did kind of a practice run. He picked whatever he wanted. We went. So we got on this tour to the Loire Valley, a bus full of people. And we were going to go on this tour. We were told it was highly recommended. It was beautiful. And a really great guide. She was lovely. There was probably about, tour bus size of us. What's that, 60 people? And we stopped at a gas station so that the bus could re-up the petrol. And we went into a little sideline cafe, which is very different from the eat and stops you're used to at the gas station. This is Paris eat and stop, and the food is mwah. Anyway, the sandwiches are unbelievable. Anyway, but it was there are coffees you can order in Paris. There's Café Crème, Café American, which the French call watered down coffee, espresso, cappuccino, all that, and then croissant, choquette, which is a pastry that I love. See, now I'm doing it. Okay. But the point was, there was a woman and she was obviously from the States, and there were two French ladies in the boulangerie, which is the pastry shop. And she one of the girls was young and she was a trainee, a young French girl, and an older, more authoritative French woman. Okay. And they were trying to service 60 people, ordering croissant, choquette, café, everything. And they were doing a good job. But they got this one lady, and unfortunately, the little French girl got this lady, and the lady said, "I'll have a coffee with an apple turnover." And the girl says, "Pourquoi?" "I'll have." Do you notice how some Americans just get louder? Like the person, the woman says, "Parlez-vous français?" And the woman says, "I'll have." So she raises it and says it louder. And there's a line of us there. And then she raises it so loud that the little French girl goes like this. Okay, is it a wonder that the Paris and the French aren't fond of some of us over there? Because we keep yelling at them in their face. We're so close that our spit hits their face. Who likes that? And she just backed more and more and more. And I said, "Madame, lady, lady, you don't need to be louder. You need to bring it back down. She does not understand English." "Parlez-vous anglais?" "No," she says. So I said, "You're going to have to wait un moment, so that the other lady who did understand English can take care of you." And this woman just went, "Huh." And the little girl walked over and she said, "Merci." And I got a coquette out of it. I didn't want, a choquette out of it. I didn't do it for the choquette. I did it because I want my country represented well. And this woman was not doing it. Okay? You see that I'm inserting some French words in here. That's what I did the whole flippin' trip. And let me tell you something that I didn't share that you can do now. Google Translate. Even if Google Translate sucks, the French don't care. You're trying. You're making an effort. And that's what counts. Think of us here in the States. When people who speak Spanish don't try to speak English, are some of us hurt by that? I know I am. You don't have to learn a lot of English if you speak Spanish, but please tell me you respect my country by trying. So why not apply that in other countries? And so that's what I'm saying. Just understand. You only have to say bonjour and merci. And to ask for the check, guys in Paris, if you don't want to look like the southbound end of a northbound horse as an American, do not say garçon. I know you've seen it in movies. And they're snapping and they're going, garçon, garçon. Garçon means boy. Oh, boy. Now, people of color don't like being called boy. Nobody likes to be called boy. Hey, boy, come here. So please don't say garçon. If you want the bill, say s'il vous plaît. Please, s'il vous plaît. Or you can say billet s'il vous plaît. But just say s'il vous plaît. They know what you want. Okay? And that's what I'm saying. A few keywords in the country that you are, In Japan, please do the same thing. Kudasai, arigato, please, thank you, sayonara, Ohio, or konnichiwa, depending on the time of day. Ohio, morning hello. Konnichiwa, afternoon hello. Oname wa, Terry, my name, Terry, or you can just say Terry, okay? But they will be very touched if you try. It's never failed me. It is the one key I can give you if you want to travel, is please don't force yourself on other countries. Be the best you. Represent America well. And you'll find that all these countries open up in ways that just want to make you cry. Just make you want to. I can tell you a million things that happened with us on our trip, that they were so generous and so sweet because we were polite and kind. So kindness first, okay? Please, please. Even if you get upset, calm down. Also know that the French, okay, we are in the USA fast. In fact, in some cases, a server will say, if you're done, can you leave? We have a long line. They do not do this in Paris. Food is to be savored in Paris. So what happens is you'll have a lot of attention of your server all the way through your meal, but once you've ordered dessert, they will disappear. So many Americans get angry. Where is that person? Why have they disappeared? Because you're supposed to have your cafe and your dessert, and you're supposed to linger over it. Enjoy the outdoors if you're outdoors. Enjoy the indoors if you're indoors. Eat slowly, savor slowly, have the zen of food. Okay? You have the restaurant in many places for the night. That is your table. They will not come up to you and go, you've been here a while. They're not going to do that. They're not, Monsieur, they don't do that. Okay? You're lucky to find them because they want you to relax, chill. Most of you are on vacation. Most of you have a hard time doing this. Okay? My friends from London, there's not a minute they're not moving. And they were here like what, 2 or 3 weeks? They told me their schedule. It's exhausting. When do you rest and enjoy you sit on the beach, breathe the air, look at pelicans. Last week, I was in a place where I could see pelicans. That is my favorite bird. I love pelicans. They bring tears to my eyes when I see them. I just love them. They're like a flying dinosaur, and they just get me all choked up. I sat on my balcony with a nice glass of wine and stared at pelicans for hours. So understand that in Paris, this is what the food is, something very special to them. It's meant to be savored, and so they really want you to. And that's what my group learned, is they learned how to take their time in certain cases. In fact, they felt that they had filled the day a bit too much too, because we were in an amazing hotel under an amazing comfortable comforter with a killer breakfast, like only the French could do. Oh, so good. And we heard church bells out the window of our hotel, and it was glorious. But we had to be somewhere because they had filled their day. I did this for them. And next time they said the one thing that I said, what would you change if you could change something? They said, we'd have a day where we just relax, because they wanted to snuggle in to these beautiful covers with this amazing food and the wonderful coffee and enjoy the experience, because no one does it, I'm telling you, like the French. So, you heard Angie talk about how she'd like to go on that trip. Trust me, you will come back. You will love the French. You will love them. Oh my gosh. Just a great people. So I'm sorry, Joe. I'd love to visit Paris with you, but think I would love to visit Tokyo Disneyland, Tokyo Disney Seas with you even more. Yeah, Tokyo was a fun experience too. I mentioned that I sold my collection in 2007 for 6 digits. Yeah, I had been collecting for a while. And so I had my husband, I bought one of those great atlases of the world. And I said, stick a pin where you want to go to my husband. We're going to spend a month there. And he had seen my pictures of Tokyo Disney Seas and the Nautilus, which is his favorite movie and ship. And so, of course, he didn't want to close his eyes, or we blindfolded him. We didn't do any of that, because he would have went like this and said Japan. So he said, I know exactly where I want to go to Japan. And I VIP'd him to Japan. Spent some of my collection money and VIP'd him. So we flew over first class in the pods. If you've never flown in a pod, you don't know what you're missing. Elegant, you're rested, you land. It's incredible. But anyway, we landed in Japan, and we were at the northern tip of Japan, and then we worked our way down and ended in Tokyo with Tokyo Disneyland, and it was spectacular. I'm always planning trips like this because there are things I want to see that people don't necessarily think about. So I went on a trip as a guest in 2005 with a group of people who wanted to see Tokyo Disneyland and hear what my take on it, because I have done a couple of attractions in there. And I spoke on them, but they never left Disneyland. We were there 10 days and they didn't want to leave Disneyland. And to me, this is really, no offense, but insane. Okay, because you're in the middle of Tokyo, one of the most amazing cities and some of the greatest things there, and you're going to stay in Disneyland all that time? Really? So I couldn't handle that. So I wanted to get out and get out. The Ginza in Tokyo is all about toys. Cool toys because it's Japan. Okay. I'm just saying. The Akihabara, which is all about electronics, and they are probably 2 years ahead of us here. So you get to see stuff you're going to see in the US 2 years later, but you can have it now and take it back with you. The Akihabara. So that is not in Disneyland. Please, if you go to a country, don't stay only in the park. You are doing yourself such a disservice. It makes me insane. I had to go see Tokyo Tower because I'm a huge Godzilla fan. You see my Godzilla. So I had to reenact, running from Godzilla at Tokyo Tower. Ah! So, and that's not at Disneyland either. Please don't do that. And please don't only eat American food, guys. Eat the foods of the country. You don't have to be crazy like me. Like I showed you that picture of me in China when I'm biting the back of a fish. I'm wild and crazy that way. There's just not many fish that I don't love. And this was one of those deep fried whole fish. And I was like, so me and fish. I have trouble in the ocean. If I see a fish, I want to eat him. So that's luckily they're much faster swimmers. So I'm not as astute. But the point is, please eat the food of the culture. Don't get a cheeseburger. Please don't do it. Because it's not, you got to get the experience. The experience is so cool. Tokyo Disneyland is magical though, because it's an all enclosed, beautifully designed, beautifully created, hotel to hotel to park to park to park that I've ever seen. So that being said, I absolutely love it, but please get out and see the rest of Japan or Tokyo. And we went the northernmost tip. And instead of seeing Mount Fuji, I saw Mount Fuji out of the bullet train. I really wasn't interested in going to Mount Fuji. Instead, I wanted to meet artists from every place we stopped. So I asked our guide if he could collect artists from Tokyo that we could sit together and talk art. And that was one of the greatest things. Then I also went to Kyudo, which is one of the greatest garage kits of the world for model kits, Japan model kits, Kyudo. I met the owner of Kyudo and his son. And we also stopped at Billiken. Billiken is another place known for their amazing vinyl model kits of Godzilla 1975, Godzilla 1950, Godzilla. They have them so that they're categorized. Mechagodzilla. The Billiken does all kinds of sets. They're amazing. And we met the person there too. So I go to places not necessarily on your map, which is one of the reasons that I think people love to take my tours. So I can feel that, Joe. I believe you. Leo. Oh, is this the link? Okay. I'll remember that. This is the link. Oh, it won't let me get it. I'll get it later. Message it to me, would you? I'm talking now. I haven't kept my wallet in my back pocket and deck case, front pocket always. Yeah, it's just a better habit, because there are people that are very good at what they do. Good morning. Hi, Ava. Popping in a bit late. Hope everyone is doing well. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Leo says, check message. Thank you, my love. Thank you, Leo. NYC just eliminated indoor masking as well. Right now, the health department says the overall risk is low, but I'm planning on being careful and masking up for at least another 6 months. Joe, I agree. If you're high risk or you have high risk family, do act accordingly. So when we were in Musso and Frank's, all of us had, we knew we were going to be around people that are very high risk. So we took a COVID test that day. An instant one to make sure we were safe. And our friends from London went and saw Kelly Clarkson's show. They went to a taping of Kelly Clarkson because they wanted to see Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, and they had a great time. But that show and many shows and tapings do a professional, meaning they have a certified person that gives you the COVID test. They want to make sure you do it right. So they test the entire studio audience before you go in. And so they knew they were negative and they came straight to the Musso and Frank's afterwards. So we were all safe. And Musso and Frank's, places like that, just so you know, Joe, are asking for your vaccine card. and they have the right to do that. So make sure you carry it with or you have it in your phone so that you can let them know that that's your card. So respect them because they're only looking out to keep us safe. Don't cheat. I so agree that a trip to Paris with Terry would be so fantastic. Connie, it's so fun. And you get to do what you would like to do. So I have this questionnaire that you fill out when you decide to go on a trip like this. And we ask you, are you a foodie? Do you like gardens? Do you like sculpture? Do you like touristy stuff? Which if you do, I'm still not going to take you. Except for the Eiffel Tower. But there's some places I just love that are weird. And like my guide took us to this really twisted restaurant. And my poor friend had just recovered from an injury and he's walking and walking and he keeps saying, how far is it? How far is it? And he was dying, and my guide said, I should have driven you a little further. I'm sorry. Because we walked through the streets of Paris, which is at night. It was still fun. And one of the ladies said, we could eat anywhere. Everything looks so good. But oh my God, when we got to the restaurant that had been chosen, they were like, okay, we're glad we did it. Okay, we're glad we did it. So the more we know about you, the better. Plus, my guy did a really special thing for me. I am a champagne freak, and you cannot get true champagne anywhere but Champagne, France. It's the way it is. The rest of it is sparkling wine. Not that there's not good sparkling wines, but I like champagne. Okay. I love it. When I went in 2016 with my husband, I put 23 bottles in my luggage. I'm allowed to. Yeah, the bottle went ka-clank, ka-clank, ka-clank. You should have seen the customs dude. My husband said, you may think she's going to sell this champagne, but I'll be lucky if I get to have some. And he's right. No, I share. But the guy said, okay, go through. He didn't even charge me. I was willing to pay duty for it if he wanted me to. But he said, no, go through. He just got a kick out of the sound of the suitcase and me with 20 bottles of champagne. Because in Champagne, France, you can get some great deals, some killer deals. And one of the things I did is I have a very good friend who puts ice in all of her wines. If you are someone who drinks wine and knows about wine, and if you're a sommelier out there, you're cringing right now. You could, what? But she does this, and it used to just drive them crazy. She's a Club 33 member, and the Club 33 members would just have to go and breathe. The Club 33 waiters and servers, they had to go take a breath because she always did this. It was freaking them out, especially the sommeliers there. Well, many of the places in Champagne, France have created ice wines. And I was at Pommeret. It's one of my favorites. And there was this beautiful ice blue bottle, like that killer blue sky that everybody makes it. It's that ice blue bottle and it had silver. It was flippin' gorgeous. And it was an ice wine. So I had to buy a bottle of that to give to my friend and say, guess what? This wine is better with ice. And it just made her so light up. Okay. It just made her so happy. And she really loved it. And now you can get these ice wines here. But at the time they had just released it in Paris. And so I brought a couple back and said, my only thing about when I give this to you is you got to open it now and share it with me. So she did. And it was great. So, but it really is fun. It's about you. So what I was going to say is my guide took me to a harvest. And I got to do that. I'm going to do that for the $10 level of my patron page. I'll show you the behind the scenes of harvest. And then I'll show you a couple shots of it. You guys will get a teaser. But I got to pick the grapes and then watch the wine process and then have the wine and then go home with a bottle of grab the grapes, process the champagne and wine, and then pick a bottle and take it home with me. Yeah, it was really fun. It was really, really fun. I'm nothing but smiles. And he did that. What my group did was we did it the day after we said our goodbyes and had our goodbye dinner. And then they stayed in Disneyland for a few more days while I went off to do the harvest. I had invited them to the harvest. I personally think they missed out on something really cool, but ought to each their own. And me and my guide were there and we just are having so much. And he got that for me as a thank you. Isn't that sweet? See? It's good to be nice and do things for others. It is. Because you never know. They'll do something nice for you and you'll be just as touched and happy. So please think of that. But yes, Connie, it's fun. Very fun. And they would love to have you on the trip. Trust me. Yes. See, all you guys would be so good on these trips. We would have so much fun. I was going to say you are a genius in deciphering a message. I go back sometimes and can't figure out what the heck I was talking about, but you seem to get it. That's because that word replace thing is always punking me. And that I've had training. Okay, let me tell you about my training in word replacement that is driving you all crazy today. My father, I taught him talk to text because he has a lot of young people that he works with as a coach. He teaches you, he's 88, and he teaches you these stretching exercises. Okay, I just taught one to my mother who was worried about, she's 90, almost 92. She was worried about curling in over herself. So I said, as you go past a door jamb, my father says, just reach up and stretch the opposite direction. Every time you see a door jamb, just for a couple minutes, stretch. Okay. And it's amazing how good it feels, and it doesn't require super dedication. Just you go through a door, remember to stretch. Go through a door, remember to stretch. And she has just said, that is the most wonderful thing I have been doing. I wake up better, la la la. So my dad is pretty cool at it. But most of you young people text. You smart people text, actually, because you know how it can be if you get me on the phone. So it's really good to text because short spurts. But it when my dad speaks into the microphone, his texts come out really crazy. So, for example, he might be saying, I saw a movie with I saw a new toy, a Furby, and it'll come out, take off the bra, baby, from my father. And my dad doesn't check, he just sends it. So I sit there and I go, take off the bra, baby means what? Exactly, because that's not what it means. So I've really gotten some great training with my dad to decipher his messages. So thank you for that lovely compliment, because I work on it. Darren says, okay, next hanging on the wall question, what is the silhouette above your mermaid tail? That's me. You know how you go to Disney and you have those made? That's the one that was made of me. That at the time they were doing gold paper. I'm pretty sure that one was the 50th anniversary, and all the day they did your silhouettes at that silhouette cutting place in gold to celebrate Disneyland's 50th. I'm pretty sure that's what that is right there. It's my poor, but you see my hair's short there. Yeah. So that's why I say it's probably the 50th. Good question. Terry, I'm looking at coming to Disneyland. Do you have suggestions on hotels other than the Disney ones? Yes. There is a Best Western that is really cool. Really cool, Angie. It's a hotel that you sleep in. Okay. It's not one you're going to hang out in, but it's really lovely. They have their own parking. If you're someone who doesn't have a big pass or you don't have parking pass, you can park there. They've been offering a real good deal. They're super, super nice. Let me just look. I'm going to look in my map. I got several people reaching out to me. They can just wait till after my broadcast. Okay, let's go to Disneyland Resort. I'm just going to look this up, Disneyland Resort. Okay. And then we're going to go there. Wait a minute. Take me to the Disneyland Resort, please. Take me to the Disneyland Resort. Okay, wait. Best Western Park Plus. Let me make sure if that's it, okay? Let me just go there now. Here we go. Ba-bam. And then I'm going to go to where it is. I think it's the best. Yes, it's the Best Western Park Place Inn Mini Suites. Okay, so it's on Harbor. So look up Best Western Plus Park, Best Western Plus Park Place Inn Mini Suites. And Leo, I got this from your Keith. I mean, Michael Roman. I got this from Keith and his lovely wife, Lori. This is a great place. You can get a handicap area, and they're all like a little suite next to the beds. Really, really nice. And parking is easy. And a lot of times they offer parking, but it's right at the stoplight that you cross into the park across harbor. You like make a jog. So if they open at 8 or 7 or whatever, you could actually look across the street and see how the line's doing before you go over there and get in line to go through security. You know, this is the one that I love. If you don't want that one, or you need, there's a few along there that are nice. I know that my friend Tex stays at one that I can't remember the name of it, but maybe you guys do. But that one is, I love that one. That's where I always stay because it's got decent parking. The people are sweet and lovely. It's not, a lot of bells and whistles. It's a hotel room with a good, clean bed, a working TV. It's lovely. I can't say enough about the Best Western Plus Park place. I like it a lot. So there you go. There you go. There you go. Let me know when you're coming. Maybe I'll meet you. I always get a balcony on cruises too. Can't do inside rooms. I'm claustrophobic. I do spend time in the balcony. I can't even do the submarine at Disneyland. No. And recently, Janet, that submarine in Disneyland makes a claustrophobic. I don't know what they did, but I used to love riding it. And you're so packed in there. I'm not a fan of it anymore either. And it's too bad because I love the submarine. And now that it doesn't choke you out while you're waiting, it smells more like, why am I hungry for French fries? It's pretty cool, and then the inside rooms, I don't know why anyone would do an inside room, even if they were just sleeping in it. I have to agree with you, Janet. It seems like not right because the balcony is great if you need a little bit of time to chill and you want to be in your room for whatever reason. You just want to have a little bit of time of your own on the balcony. It's so nice. It's so, so nice. I have a great shot where I was in a Disney suite and we were all on the balcony. Oh, it was just spectacular. Oh, it was just so much fun. So balconies are very cool. Yes, indeed. I'm fearful that I'll never be able to go to Disneyland ever again. I know, Joe. It is so expensive. Yeah, it is a huge investment. You got to save up. And the problem is at your rate of saving up versus the rate they raise their rates, it's a challenge, right? I love your laugh brightens the world. Thank you, Connie. Yeah, I was making Connie laugh. Connie's part of the tribe. She was laughing every time. Wouldn't you agree, Connie? I have this totally weird perspective on the world. It is so bizarre. And what comes out of my mouth, I tell you, no catalytic converter. So you're just going to listen to whatever comes out of my mouth, sometimes happy, sometimes sad, but all Terry. So if you like it, subscribe, would you? Angie says the Adventure by Disney in the States are 3,000 to 6,500. Ooh, they gone down. Not sure about the one abroad, but not that expensive considering it. Wow. I got to check it out. Is it adventuresbydisney.com, Angie? They have come down. They have come way down. Whoa. Thank you for telling me, Angie. Because I do want to, here's the thing. If you want to create the ultimate experience, you should look at other people's ultra experiences. Like I'm getting ready to do tutorials for you guys, a lot of them on Patreon, but I'll do a few on YouTube for you guys. I take other classes and see how other teachers are teaching online. I mean, isn't that smart to learn from other teachers? And I'm not saying you copy verbatim what they do, but there's some things I love. There's an amazing teacher. His name is Will Kemp, Kemp. He's a painter. I found him out the first year that I did this event, which is the Red Dot Center for Creativity Chuck Jones event. I hadn't painted since I was 7. So I took one of his classes to learn how to paint and I muddled through. I don't think anybody bought my painting. That probably got thrown in the trash, but Will was a really good teacher and I didn't pay for it. He has a YouTube channel and I love the way Will gives you a few lessons for free so that you can see how he is as an instructor. And then he guides you to his website where if you want more of his extensive training, you pay for it. And I just think it's so well done. It's so well done. I think it's nice if you give people a little something so they can understand what kind of an instructor you are first. So I really love that process. So that's the process I want to emulate. Okay. But I've seen teachers, I've taken classes from teachers that I don't like. I took a class from a realist painter who never gave critique. She actually did a thing where other students talked about other students, like other students coached other students. If you've ever been in a live art class, the last thing you want is some Yahoo student, no offense, but you don't want me coming over and telling you what to do. And I don't want you coming over telling me what to do because you're all learning. I want to learn from the teacher. That's why you take the class. So the fact that she wasn't present, I really blasted her for it. I said, I like your class, but the fact that you are not doing the coaching, you are not doing the critiquing, you're just collecting the money seems narcissistic and being a money grabber. I feel cheated. And I loved her class. I hated the fact that there were students there that were floundering and she wouldn't help. My thought is that she wanted to go off and do her own thing while collecting thousands of dollars from people who were taking her online class. That's just mean. I'm sorry. That's looking at your students like they're money, like they're little money bags for you to extort money from. You have to be vested. I'm learning this from teachers I love. I don't necessarily need you to be over my shoulder. I'm an artist. I'll figure it out. But there are people out there that have valid questions, and you need to be present if you're going to do an online course. Doesn't mean you have to be there the whole time, but they have to have access to you. Now, Will, who's an amazing oil painter, also does acrylics, which is what I wanted to learn from him. He's accessible. You can email him and reach out to him. And I think you could probably do a Zoom call with him if you had a few classes and you really wanted to hear. He might charge you a little more. I don't know. He might not. But the point is you have to be an accessible teacher. You cannot be this teacher who's never present and say, oh, by the way, your fellow students will do your coaching. What the heck is that crap? That's ridiculous. I don't want somebody who, no. And they're not going to want me to do it. Okay? I'll say something nice about it, but I'm not going to really critique your work. Who am I to critique your work? We're both in the same class on this side of the wall, and the teacher's on that side of the wall. So my point is I take a lot of courses because I want to do these online trainings for you, but I want them to really deliver to you so you feel good after you're done and you've actually learned something. There's another school that's very popular, a very popular makeup effects place that has a school, and they really don't teach you anything unless you're at an advanced level. They really don't teach the beginner. You have to be kind of a really seasoned beginner to take their class, and their classes are expensive. So I don't like that either. I don't like people who kind of posture and don't really teach you anything. But I'm learning that. Okay, so that when I get ready to teach you guys learn something. And you've seen my pumpkin courses. I'm all about you learning. So that's what my opinion, guys. And I warned you. I'm just going to say what I feel. I'm not going to, But, oh, Angie, this is exciting. I got to check this out. So, Adventures by Disney. What is it, .com? I got to go check that out. Thank you for saying that. Oh, I'm so excited. Iceland, 7 nights, about $7,700 for a event. Oh, I want to go see it. Do they have the Galapagos? I want to go see the Galapagos Islands. It would be great to go to Galapagos with Adventures by Disney, because I bet you they have sketching parties and people who tell you about the animals, and you look at the animals, and I love the blue-footed booby on the Galapagos Islands. I really want to go to Galapagos. And Africa. I'd love to go to Africa with Adventures by Disney. $7,700 is not bad. How long? 7 nights. You're right. They have come down. Angie, they've come way down. Maybe they put more people so that it could be a lower price, which is pretty smart. Thank you, Angie, for sharing that. I'm so excited because I'd like to learn from the best. Could make an even better experience. Yep. They speak French. They're not deaf. Exactly. This is what you're trying. And I don't know. There are Americans out there, not you guys, but there's Americans out there. They do that. Have you ever noticed when you don't understand something, maybe it's a math problem and the person keeps yelling it at you and you're like, it's not going to get any better with you yelling at me. I still no comprende. Loud or quiet, I'm not getting it. Girls especially don't like to be called boy. Can you imagine? Because in the movies, you see how people go, garçon. Yeah, don't do that. It means boy. That's what I mean about study. You know, I had a time, I'll tell you, because I'm not perfect, okay? It may sound like I know anything right here. Let me come down from the big head syndrome and tell you of a time I screwed up. Hong Kong. All right. I had learned that the word for thank you in Chinese was sheshe. And I said sheshe in Hong Kong. And I caught flack for it. Two things. Hong Kong does not consider itself a part of China. That's number one. Yes, they are on the continent, but they do not consider themselves a part of China. So when you say sheshe to them, it hurts their feelings because they speak Mandarin, not Chinese. Okay, Mandarin, Chinese, different. And you can look by the symbols and you all of a sudden see that it's different. But I had not caught that. And I profusely apologized, but I had trouble saying the thank you the way they wanted me to say thank you. So I would go, thank you. And they love that because they are emoji crazy in Hong Kong. So I would go, thank you. Thank you. Or, okay. So I would do it with gestures and they love that. They love that. But that way I stopped offending people. But they let me know. They let me know that I was, that hurts. That hurts our feelings. Really badly hurts our feelings. That makes us angry. So don't say shay shay in Hong Kong. I learned it. You know? Yeah. Hong Kong is very cosmopolitan. And they're very proud about being cosmopolitan. They equate themselves more with New York. Mm-hmm. Many of them do speak English, but they do love hearing their own language. So again, I had studied, but I had just made a mistake that can happen. And you apologize and say, I'm terribly sorry. And they educate you, which was so sweet and so kind. And then I had trouble pronouncing the word. So I just went like this. Is that okay? They went that way. It's good. Exactly. Trying to speak the local language is always appreciated, even if you do it badly. And the French will not speak English unless you speak French first, because they are embarrassed. That is the culture. They are embarrassed, but all of them speak English. Just a little secret for you. Same with Japan. They all speak English a little bit. Yeah. They learn it when they're children. Hello, Paul. You're joining late. Well, you knew I'd be here. Didn't you, Paul? You can kind of have your coffee, maybe a little breakfast. I think I'll wander in and see Terry now. I'm always at least 2 hours. I try to do that. I remember back in the late 70s, early 80s, Spanish-speaking older men at the foot of the stairs leading to the old monorail station, just with some basic Spanish. Yeah. You speak with them, it makes them light up. And you say their name. When we were in Carlsbad, Mario served us breakfast every day. And I said, hello. He says, hello. I said, can I have a couple coffees? He said, yes, they served a hot breakfast. And I said, what is your name? And he said, Mario. And the woman behind him smiled. I said, Mario, I'm Terry. Every day I'd say, hey, Mario, hey, Jackie. Okay. And they light up. When you say, well, how are you doing today, Jackie? Can I have a couple eggs? How are you, Mario? Can I have a couple coffees? Don't worry about the cream. I brought it. And as Joe is saying here, this is great. Okay. This is a simple thing you can do, and sign language. And I got to get better at that. I know very little, but I would love to do sign language. And I know there's some great classes online that really teach you well. And then I have several friends who are deaf are more than happy to practice with me. So I need to get on that, right? Tokyo Disney Seas is the greatest. I can't wait for the borders. I'll afford that better than the Starcruiser. You're right, Joseph. If you haven't been to Tokyo Disneyland, you gotta go. That is one of the cleanest, tidiest, most exquisite parks. So wonderful. I'm a little scared to go to Japan now because I've been waiting to go there since the early 80s, says Joe. My ex-wife lives outside of Osaka, and I think if I went, I'd never want to leave. You would. You would. Smoking is allowed there, and they smoke a lot. It's really stifling. My guide, who I love very much, smoke on an average 17 packs a day. So when I say they smoke, they really smoke. And so that can be very difficult for you. It's a very small area, lots of people, so it's often crowded. I love Japan, but at the end of 3 weeks to almost a month, we were ready to come home. Not that we don't love Japan, but Japan changes if you go there too often and too long and you're not Japanese. Their behavior shifts. I cannot put my finger on it, but it does happen. So I think it's because they really don't want you to move there. Unless you absolutely they're going to put you through your paces a little bit. They are a lot of people on a small strip of land, so who can blame them? But it's really great. It's so cool there. I waited, it was 7 times that I almost went to Japan. My 8th became the winner. It kept canceling or something happening that I couldn't go. And when I went, I absolutely adored it, as I knew I would. Now it's a lot more fun to go because they have very few of those classic Japanese toilets that are just a Pyrex platform and a hole. They now have flush toilets. The Japanese have realized that a flush toilet is a godsend. And they have the European version that has the bidet that washes you nice and clean and warms your seat. You know, you can push a button and your seat's warm and it vibrates. And they have because the Japanese love all the bells and whistles when it comes to stuff. And they love technology. You know it and I know it, that Japan loves technology. So they have the toilets in their upgraded. Oh, they're just amazing. You wonder why the person is spending so long. They're pushing buttons. They're checking, what does this do? What does this do? It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So yes, you will have a lot. Don't be afraid. Go and have a good time. I try to visit different areas around Tokyo each time I visit. Yeah, Joseph, it's cool. But you know, be bold. Go to Kyoto. The most beautiful, beautiful temples all over Kyoto. Gardens, Kyoto. Go to Kyoto. There's just so many places in Japan that I can tell you. Northern Japan was amazing. We had a dinner with 14 artists and it was so much fun. Probably I can't remember the name because I saw the land, but I saw it through other eyes. And then you got to go to, is it Shinjuku? I'm not sure, but where Dr. Tezuka, the father of anime's museum is. We had a great time going there and doing that. I've actually dedicated the drawing he did for me to them, and I need to get it over there. Sorry, we have to go. It's time for my godfather. Oh yes, go do. It's 2 hours. I know we are going to wind up, so we're almost done here anyway. So have a good weekend. My in-laws took my wife to Japan on their dime about 4 years ago. We loved it. We wrapped it up by taking them to Tokyo Disneyland for a couple days as our treat. Great, wasn't it, Paul? You never tire. It's so amazing and good for you. Good for you. I love eating okonomiyaki when I'm in Japan. Not sure what that is. It doesn't sound familiar to me. It's sashimi, sashimi, sashimi with a side of sashimi. It's not all sushi either. Fantastic ramen. Okonomiyaki curry rice, especially Kobe beef. Steakhouse is beautiful. And then my husband likes the udon noodles. Oh my gosh. We had one and it was really a savory noodle and he keeps trying to find it here, but he loved it so much. But it was also a really rainy day. We were soaked to the skin and that just coated the inside of our whole body when we were in Japan. So it could have been the experience. Yeah. Angie says, I'm such a picky eater. It's the thing that worries me most when traveling. Even from Iowa to Florida, I noticed that the beef is different. It's true. It is, sweetie. It is. But just thank God you're not vegan. Because, oh my gosh, when we were in Norway, my stepson and his girlfriend are vegan. And the Norwegians look at you like you're some pompous California southbound end of a northbound horse. They're not buying it. They don't buy vegans. Okay. If you're vegan, this is not dissing you. Okay. It's just that some countries don't believe in you. Like they don't believe in God. They don't believe in vegans. And so I understand what you're saying, Angie, but at least you're not vegan. Because I got to tell you, my son had a lot of problems in Norway because they looked at him like he had 3 heads when he said he was vegan. They were like, "You're what? You know, we don't eat that." And they were like, "Excuse me? What's the matter with you? What did you do in a past life to have such a horrible eating palate?" Speaking of no related converters on my mouth, the Norwegians, even worse. Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting experience. So you can do it. Vegetables, they have lovely vegetables if you like vegetables, Angie. Lots of yummy vegetables. And they can just be steamed. They don't look at you like you have 3 heads if you want steamed vegetables. They get that. Okay. But you also eat a bit of meat, which will make them even happier. When I was 19, I was in a youth orchestra that traveled, says Darren, toured Europe. It was then that I started carrying my wallet in my front pocket and still do that to this day. Yeah, when I went, oh, get this, guys, Darren, so true. I backpacked through Europe when I was 19. I think I've mentioned this to you before, for the Queen's, wait for it, Silver Jubilee. And yesterday, my dear, dear friends from London reminded me that the Queen is about to celebrate in the summertime her platinum. No monarch has ever done a platinum jubilee. What is that going to look like? I told him, oh my God, would I love to be over there for the platinum jubilee? But then I probably should watch it on TV because I could probably see it better. But I saw the Queen when her hair wasn't gray. I celebrated with her the Silver Jubilee. I was in tears. I was so excited. A real fairy tale land, London. They have queens and princesses and kings. Wow, what a cool place to live, I thought at my 19-year-old self. So cool. And I said, platinum. Oh my gosh. This is so exciting. I think the Queen is living a good life because otherwise she wouldn't have lasted this long. She's having a good life. She's embracing it. And I just love the Queen. I love those guys over there. You know, they may not be perfect, but who is? And I just I just think that this is the coolest thing about London is they've got fairy tale things. You actually have a prince. They probably have, you know, somewhere over there, a dragon. No, wait, they do. I'll tell you. So when I toured over there, wow, I had a great time. I was young and like Darren, you know, 19. And me, it was 1977. I actually went over there and told Europe about Star Wars. Star Wars hadn't come there yet. So this guy at Foyles was so nice to me. I said, let me give you a tip. He made a killing. Thanked me and sent me a lovely gift. So I'm always, you know, look out for people. You never know. Look out for others. Yeah. Okay, so Leo says, I also IM'd Kinman to let him know you would be contacting him. I felt good about your possible collaboration. You feel good about it. I hope so. I'm welcome to chat with him. Because he's still maybe in their Imagineer, he may not have the freedom to spread his wings like I do. So he may not be able to do it. We'll just find out. You know, I'm in a kind of a good spot. Not that he's in a bad spot. Being an Imagineer is a wonderful place to be. Don't let me, you know, make you think that it's not. It's wonderful. Best of the best, guys. I'm at work and just joined talking about Paris. Oh, how I'd love to go with you someday. And I'd love to have you go with me. Absolutely. Take Aussie Bra Baby. That's going to become an in-joke. Yes. Yes. That's what That's what happened. And I think he was telling me about blueberries or something. And that's how you know what you've been going through today, guys. Y'all been going through it. So, so I have to decipher those things from my dad. So I'm really pretty good at it because my dad loves talk to text. Connie says, wonderful perspective. Thank you, Connie. I've never been on a cruise. I've always been interested on a Disney cruise. I have to assume that as an adult, I would have a great time. It can't be all kid-centered. It's not the best time to go if you're someone, well, there's a friend of mine with the Disneyana fan club who will remain nameless, who does not like children. He doesn't want to be on a cruise with any kids. Well, that's hard with the Disney cruises because they are, as Darren says, kid-centric. But if you go in May, a lot of times kids are still in school. So if you go in May, there are less children. If you're someone who doesn't want to be around kids on a Disney cruise, this is a way to do it. Do it in May, not the August cruises, because of course families take their kids. Why do families take their kids on a Disney cruise? Because you can have a lovely cruise with your children and still have romantic times for you. Forgive me, I'm clipping I have a hangnail here that is really making my eyes water, so I'm clipping it. Oh, man, does it hurt. Ow, 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 ow. Everything's a wrap with me today. There we go. Okay, whew, that was painful. I'm going through my taxes, so it dries my fingers out and creates hand nails. Ow, 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 ow. Anyway, I'm done. But if you go in May, some people take their kids out for a May cruise, but the kid ratio is less. Then Disney really considers every age group. So adults have their own pool and no kids can ever infiltrate that. So if you want to go and have a pool that's just adults, you can do that, Darren. In the middle is like a teenage area pool. And then there's a pool at the other end that's all children. And most people say go early because you know what kids do in pools. So, but that's for the little kids, okay, for young kids. Then they have clubs designated for the different groups too. I think their club is called what? Vibes, which is all teenagers. Only teenagers can get in. And they all go there because, of course, it's their domain, right? And then they have a place for little kids. If you're above a certain height, you cannot get in to a special area on the 5th floor where kids get to make goop, get to do animation cells, get to watch movies. And a parent can take their child, put them in that fun area, get a pager, and if there's any problem with the child, the adult can be paged. So this is what happens with Disney. They've really thought about little kids. I like to personally stay on the 5th floor. The ceilings are lower, the posters are lower, because that is the kid floor. I happen to love the kid floor. Also, that's the movie theater where you can get in your jammies, go to a very special Disney theater in your jammies, get the popcorn at front, which is free, and a soda, which is free, and you curl up in front of your favorite movie in your footy pajamas and your blankie and your pillow, and you watch your favorite movie. So Disney really is a great cruise for all ages. I've loved it. You even have late night. So they have teenage late night. Wow, that thing really nailed me. They have teenage late night that happens, maybe the kids get together from like 9 and 11. They all dance and do their favorite thing. There's bingo for those of you who want to play bingo. That's the only gambling on a Disney ship. And then for you late night crowd, you adult crowd, they have more risque comedy shows. Disney risque, but risque comedy shows. And they also have late night dancing. They have bars and areas off limit to young people, but very good for you. Like you can play that football stuff, foosball. You can do video games. They have something for everyone, and I love it. Plus, they have killer classes that teach you about things like how to make cocktails, balsamic vinegars, and why they're important for you, and the history of them, which is really cool, and napkin folding, because you always have a little napkin critter waiting for you when you go to your stateroom. So they teach you all kinds of cool stuff. It's just so much fun. Yes, it really is a cool place. A Disney cruise, I think, is great for families because families have the chance to be apart and come together. I had a woman who said, I thought we'd have more time to spend with our kids on this cruise. And the kids were like, yeah, no. Bye. So Darren, you'll have a great time. I've been on 3 of them. I absolutely love them. And the children were a definite benefit, not a curse in my opinion. Yeah, I can't think of an incident where I was upset about children. I loved it. But I did do off season, except for my Alaska cruise. And it was good. Galapagos Islands Expedition Cruise, 9 days. Yes! Angie, I'm writing that down. I love you, Angie. Thank you for doing that for me. That's my bucket list, girl. That's my bucket list. I just might have to invest. I'm going to go read more about that. Okay. Adventures by Disney, Galapagos Islands. That's not bad at all, sweetie. Oh, so excited. You've really made me excited now. Angie, you've made my day. You have done something nice for someone else. You have done something nice for me. I love you, Angie, for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wrote it down. Mwah. Angie, you're a rock star, girl. I sent you the link to the itinerary. I love you. Thank you. I've been speaking it. See, when you speak it, look at who helps you. Look at everybody who helps you out when you just talk about what you need. And, and then you help others do what they need, right? Agree 100% with your subject of education. I taught my many levels of photography art for years. I watched other teachers who were nothing more than a room monitor. Yeah. Putting the job of guiding students in the hands of other students, my feeling has always been to teach the way you would want to be taught and the way you want someone to teach your children. And that could, Richard Barnes, I'm just going to say, ditto. Yeah, well said, Richard. Very well said. But I'll warn you, they all look amazing, and I go on a rabbit hole every time I do the site looking at the amazing trips. Honestly, I want to do Galapagos, and I'd like to do Galapagos this year, or at least next year. So I'm going to take a look at it right away, Angie. It's something I really want to do. I mean, it hurts how much I want to do it, and when it's that big, I want to go to Australia because I saw the Olympics. What was it? The Summer Olympics in Australia where they showed the people doing the bridge climb in Sydney. I saw that bridge climb, and 2 months later, I was in Australia doing that bridge climb. So that was before the pandemic, of course. But I was so excited. I could not breathe when I was doing that. That Sydney bridge thing was so exciting. And I loved Australia. I actually got very lucky. I booked the trip on Priceline, and on the way back, the plane had a problem. So they canceled my flight, and I got first class and all round trip for $1,000. So sometimes you just win, and this sounds like a winner. I want to thank you again, Angie. That is so sweet. And thank you for warning me because those prices are now comparable. Every time I looked early days with Adventures by Disney, they were 2,500. They were 22. They were 25,000, 22,000. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I can make my own trip, but I wanted to take at least one or two, Angie, because I want to see how they do it so that I can just fine tune the trips that I do and make them better. So, wow, you are just killing me with the good advice today. Go girl. No, in Hong Kong, they speak Chinese, but specifically Cantonese. Thank you, Joe. Cantonese, that's a word I couldn't think of. Not Mandarin. Cantonese. Shay is Mandarin. See, I already messed it up. This is why I did this, Joe, because this is exactly what I did. And don't, I'm not even going there, okay? But this is why I did this and this. This is what I did, and they loved it. So thank you for correcting me. That is right. Cantonese, not Mandarin. Mandarin is Shanghai. Yeah, forgive me. It's been a while. And like I said, I messed it up, dude, just like I messed it up there. So you see, I'm not going to always show you the best part of me. I'm going to show you me, the way it is. So if you like seeing it raw, subscribe. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the smoking. They smoke like chimneys, yes. And just you got to be aware that small areas. They do have non-smoking areas of the bulletin that really are truly non-smoking, not like they used to be when they had smoking on flights. But it's still very tough. For me, I'm definitely allergic to secondhand smoke. Woo, I had to work it. I had my own. I'll tell you what I did. I had my, those little air systems that are your own that you wear around your neck? That's what I had all over Japan. Or it could have killed me. Yeah, a lot of smoke. one negative, right? There we go. The Osamu Tezuka Manga Museum is in the Osaka area. It's beautiful, not to be missed. And soon you'll see the drawing that Dr. Tezuka did for me. Yep. I promised it to them. They don't have one. So I said, let me get it. Let me give it to you. He teaches and does several commission projects. Awesome. Good, good. I will be checking him out. Ventures by Disney offer adult-only options for some trips. You know, here's the thing. If you have children that are well-behaved, Holly McKenzie and her husband, I don't mind at all being around kids or other adults, as long as everyone realizes that your issues are not mine. So we've all paid the money. Be good. Get over your drama in your stateroom and then come out and be wonderful with all of us. Don't whine. Don't, just not cool. It's just not cool. And what I've loved about the Disney cruise ships is everybody is so well with the first pin trading one. It was an e-ticket. But even the guests were just fabulous, and the cast members did the best they could. It was not easy for them, that inaugural Panama Canal cruises. Not simple. We've done about 10 Disney cruises with our 4 kids and 5 without our kids. Everyone was great. Exactly, Richard. I'm telling you, I had a friend, they had an anniversary, a very monumental anniversary, and they wanted dinner for 2 at Paolo's. If you've been to Paolo's, you know it's a wonderful restaurant. You got to pay a little extra money to go there, but the food is wonderful. And they were able to do it because their kids didn't want to be, they were off doing their thing with the Disney folks. The kids were fine. Where are they going to go? It's a cruise ship. So these people Disney really takes care. They really embrace. It's one of the few places that they still embrace Walt Disney for everybody. So the cruises are worth it. I agree with you, Richard. They are dyed-in-the-wool fabulous. I haven't done the big ones yet. I haven't done the Dream or the Fantasy or this new one that's coming out, the Wish, which nobody has done yet, right? Because it's not out yet. They just keep getting bigger and bigger, but apparently they're still beautiful ships. But I do love the Magic and the Wonder. Those are 2 of my favorites. Those are the ones I've always usually go on. But I'm sure the others are fun too. Yeah, the cast members really bend over backwards to do a great job. Yeah, be careful of that card or wristband because you can really rack up the money if you're not paying attention. So, booked a cruise in September out of Florida. Can't beat the price for 8 days for Krista's birthday. Congratulations! That's going to be fun. Is it a Bahama cruise? Well, you might not be able to tell me because I'm going away. We did great. Today, we were just under 2.5 hours. I tend to like to answer all your questions, and I appreciate us ending at 12 because my London people are going to swing by, and I want to make sure that I get to chat with them. Plus, I have banking to do, taxes to do, and a teeth cleaning at 5. What is the matter with me booking all this on Friday? I love you guys. Hugs. Everything. Let's see what she says. The Wish just postponed. Yes, they did. And I'm like, ouch. But with the pandemic and so few people doing stuff, that Wish is going to take some time. And the people who are building these ships are real craftsmen. They really are good at what they do. I don't see them letting it go until it's mwah. So again, that is cool. And she says, yes, it is. You're going to have a great time. You're going to love it. I love you guys. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the great conversation. Thank you about your Starcruiser opinion because I've not been there, but I'm not interested. Angie, you rock star of the day. Thank you for telling me about Adventures by Disney's coming down in price. I just had avoided them before. I want to just thank you. Oh, I'm so excited to go see this. I want to go on right now. It just got me so excited. Thank you, Judy. Everybody have a lovely weekend. We will see you Monday. And Darren says, thank you. So great to catch with enthusiasm and positivity today. And a smile from Janet. I love you guys. Do something nice for someone else. Don't fear about correcting me. If I say something incorrect, guys, please correct me. Like today, Mandarin Cantonese. I really appreciate it. I love learning, and I love that you look out for me, okay? You keep me from being the southbound end of a northbound horse. So, mwah, I love you. Keep doing nice things for others. You'll feel so much better.